Greetings, and welcome to the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest, the online live-streamed Dungeons & Dragons-based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones that helps raise money for rotating community charities. I'm your host and Dungeon Master. And this is just a quick introduction to episode 19 of our open beta development process. Join us this evening as we watch the contestants and a returning Yane Gorbrook take on what are a traveling band of ogre tax collectors marauding through the cliffsides nearby to the township of Hope's Rise, as the party, having regrouped and redecided on a course of action, is now going to try and return the troll's head in their possession in order to collect the prize that they are very much so deserving of, and that their guildmates had given their life for in some episodes prior. On the very cliff face that they fought the Mist Drake, I believe in episode 6, the players now show down against some overpowered brutes that seem to have more strength than the party was counting on. Things get desperate, and it gets close, so you're going to have to watch to see who lives and who dies, and who walks away with a precious stone at the end of the evening. But all of that, you'll have to tune in for. So join us for this episode of the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest. And we are live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Sunday evening as we start the 19th episode of the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest, the online, live-streamed Dungeons & Dragons-based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones that helps raise money for rotating community charities. And speaking of rotating community charities, having left the poll up for about a week now on the public Discord, we've looked to see who got the most votes, and it looks like as of the cutoff point, it is the charity Heads Up Guys, a nonprofit that spreads awareness as well as help create resource for men out there who are struggling with depression, and those who are also helping to spread awareness and provide resources for that. Heads Up Guys is a charity that was nominated by one of our patrons, which is also a great reminder for those of you out there. If you'd like to be a part of the process for nominating one of your favorite charities, a great way to get above the rest of the noise is to become a patron of the show and pick a cause that is near and dear to you that we can all help raise money for in the future. In the meantime, of course, there is also the issue of last game's session in which the players finally encountered their first boss battle as they attempted to enter into the dungeon that lurks underneath Hope's Rise. Having located only one of its many entrances and having crossed a dangerous chasm-filled ruin inside of a massive cavern to only be attacked and destroyed by a many-armed Naga warrior with some sort of abyssal heritage flowing through her veins. Having been summoned by some sort of extra-dimensional being that the party is becoming aware of and familiar with the sort of heralding fire of indigo and radiant energy that sort of outlines this creature whenever the material plane must strain in order to bear its countenance. And thus, having been, well, within about 2 to 3 dice rolls of besting this creature, the new incoming party members have decided that they are close enough yet still within the boundary of success for this given challenge that they might try it again here in the near future, if with only slightly more supplies, as well as maybe another level under their belt. So we'll see what direction they take at the beginning of this game and where they choose to pilot this adventure and how it is they will go about conquering this obstacle. Of course, now that we are out of our first 60 days of production, the prize pool that the players are competing to win is also now escalating, which means that since the players did not obtain the $500 cash prize last week, it is now up to $510. A small but important increase, as we will see each session that goes by without these players making the ability to... Apparently I'm a loss for words this evening, I apologize. But without the players having the ability to overcome these obstacles, they are going to watch as the prize money only goes up and up and up, and the stakes at hand become that much more epic in proportion. So thank you to all of our contestants, all of our fans, everyone out there in the Twitch chat right now who is joining us for the evening. We're going to get going here in just a moment. We've got surely a lot of things ahead of us, as who knows where the random encounters for the evening might take us, or if the players will just immediately delve back down into the cavern system and once again brave the black puddings and troglodytes to see if they can slay this Naga warrior Nelafim. Without further ado, I can't think of anything else to stall out this action, so I'm just going to transition over to our contestants and we will get this going. Thank you everybody for joining us for this episode of the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest. Alright everybody, we are live. Sorry about that. Everybody, we are live. Welcome, welcome. We have Karini, the Paladin, Yane, the half-orc barbarian, I almost said ranger there, Inel, the, mostly human, part bird, part elf, I believe.
Yes.
Magical wizard. Of some renown, as well as the incoming Gale Warcrier, the half-orc warlock. Having rolled into the 5th seat and then slid over to the 4th seat over the course of the break, Gale is going to be, hopefully, the much-needed DPS that will be able to turn the tide of this coming battle should the players choose to immediately re-engage with that Naga warrior. And then, of course, from there, we have Bakrun Growl, another half-orc, rounding out 3 of the 5 players as half-orcs this evening, and a stalwart fighter at that, with the toughness and savage attacks, and savage endurance present. I imagine that the players have quite a bit more power on hand for the time being, but it seems they are also precariously without a healer. So, without further ado, everyone, I'm going to turn it over to the players. Please, you are here in the basement of the Temple of Yonghua. Last we left off, the Goddess of Blessings, having decided to take a long rest and, no, you hadn't taken a long rest because you don't need to. Everyone's more or less fresh. At this point, you were just whiling away the evening. So I think everyone was bedding down merely just to pass the time. So if there's anything you'd like to do at the start of this game before you roll that encounter roll, everyone, for your long rest, please let me know. But other than that, we can get going.
What time is it?
It is, at this point, because you had spent some time clearing away the rubble in the room underneath the... that was adjacent to the main basement area there. It is like 9-10 p.m. equivalent, so it is definitely around the point that everyone is feeling it for the day. But at the same time, with everyone having a lot to accomplish, I completely understand if people feel motivated to maybe work into the evening, or if there are any last errands that they may have thought of since last game that they would like to pursue trying to obtain.
I'll walk up to you guys and say, all right, I don't really know what to do next. I may have a pull-up if someone left.
Welcome back.
So, like I said, I may have an objective to share with you tomorrow. But for now, I'm just gonna sleep. I welcome you to make watch because I can't really do anything.
All right, everyone else, it seems like your wizard is bedding down for the evening. Is there any further agenda before we get into seeing what the night brings?
Not for me.
Neither me.
I'm good.
Okay, then someone is going to have to make an encounter roll.
Y'all don't want me to roll. I'm just saying it, man.
Has everyone here already rolled at least once? You got a D20 or D100?
A D100.
I remember last time I did it. What did I get a nat 1, right? Yeah.
You did. Natural ones are exceptional because they are full of the most potential. The only other one that has more potential than that is really the 100. So I'm looking at a 22, rolling. Let's see what the encounter roll brings as I open the Black Book of Death and see which one encounters.
You have the death note?
I have the death note.
Who's keeping watch, by the way?
This actually isn't full of encounters, it's actually just descriptions of all of you and your characters and how you die.
Oh, I'll keep first watch. I'll take second.
Okay. So, sorry, this is a bit to read here. Everyone who is keeping watch for the evening, go ahead and give me perception checks over the course of the evening as you're trying to remain alert and see if there's anything that catches your ear or eye over the course of your watch that might alert you. That's a 9 and a 3. Did I hear one other person saying they were taking a watch, or is it just the two?
No, nobody has said it. Does anything.
Okay. You only need the two, really. Then, with that 9 and with that 3, you all don't see or hear anything over the course of your watch. Things seem to pass as if with no event at all. Everyone is going to be able to rest and restore themselves for the coming day's hardships.
Farscribe, can I say something? Just to clarify something.
What's
Inel is sleeping inside his rope trick.
Okay. Noted. That only lasts for an hour at a time.
All right, never mind. I
was gonna say you're more than welcome to, but it would be complicated. So the morning dawns. The players find the town of Hope's Rise is beginning to bustle once more as the marketplace has started to return, what with the massive crater in the center having all been but paved over, is there's only one hole left right now where it seems that masons are busy fitting some sort of like hollow cylinder with which to pipe water for the future fountain that will replace the damaged one. Now, knowing that there is a cavern system only maybe 5 feet of brickwork underneath that center area, it would not be hard once more to gain access to it. But it does represent yet another hurdle, as it seems like the masons that the previous party had asked to stall for the time being did stall for a day, but did not linger, as they did have outstanding orders from the nobles of the city to get this fixed. So around that, now that there is no longer this hazardous kind of semi-collapsed hole in the center of town, many of the tents and hawkers, as well as smaller merchants that were occupying the open space of the town square, have returned. With that, you also notice that there seems to be an increased presence in the town guard ever since you had, or at least your previous guildmates, had alerted the town guard to the potential wrongdoings underneath the Temple of Yonquaw in the sewers. They are now patrolling around almost every corner, and there are sentries posted almost everywhere you see. This drops off as you get out of the main populated area, but for the time being, as the guards are sorting out exactly what's going on, it also seems that there's a fair number of them coming and going from the temple ruin, the ruins of the temple itself, as well as the basement. You're woken up in the morning, as a matter of fact, by a couple of the guards poking down to see if anything has changed or if anything foul has crept in over the course of the evening. Relieved to see that it's just more of the Guild of Mazes members having posted up for the evening, they give you a simple nod and turn around and head back upstairs. With that, I leave you to your own recognizance.
Good morning.
Good morning. There's no coffee.
I'm good. Just start saying.
A technical question first, guy.
What's up?
One of my abilities is to have these beads that I can pray during a short rest, and then have advantage on a named target. I have to know who I'm going to name in order to use that,
yes,
right?
You would have to have a name.
Perfect. Okay, that's what I thought. So also, I have a little book of lore for my morning ritual. I'd like to study a little bit in that book of lore and see what I can find out about the town.
Okay. In that regard, what are you? You get to make a history check, or an investigation check, and what are you trying to find out?
Well, I just know as I'm looking through my things that I have this little book of lore, and so I wanted to thumb through it and see what's in it, if there's anything that might be useful about our current situation, about
the book of lore that you are equipped with, being a warlock, that sort of comes with you, is one of the things that kind of represents your character's knowledge of the more esoteric dealings of the planes and, higher and lower beings, things of that nature. For the purposes of the mechanics of the game, that book basically just represents the ability for your character to, without having to, say, find a library or an expert or, some exterior source, but you'll still have to make investigation checks or history checks to see, what relevant information you can pull out of it. Which is why I say, if you want to give me a check and what are you trying to find out, I'll need a little bit more of a lead than anything relevant to our current situation. What are you after?
Sure, that totally makes sense. I'll need to know what I'm looking for if I'm going to thumb through that book. Okay, so in lieu of that, I'm not going to look at that book then.
Do you? Can I see you with the book or no? Can I,
It sounds
want
like
to
for the
look-
time being, Muller's going to hold off.
You want to
Alright.
look at the book?
I mean, am I seeing you pulling out the book or?
Yeah, I pull it out. I'm thumbing through it. Also, I decided not to put on my leather armor today. as I
That was what
normally
I heard you not doing. You cut out there on my end for just a second. Not doing the leather armor, but you are thumbing through the book. So yes, you would see your companion sort of in their morning ritual be kind of doing some idle research to see what they may or may not be able to come up with in terms of useful information for the day.
Yeah. Is that some kind of book of lore or something? It seems interesting.
It is.
May I check it? With your permission.
Sure, check it out.
Thank you. I'm gonna take the book and try to find something on portals to the Feywild.
Okay. Go ahead and you can give me an investigate or a history.
I'll go with history.
Okay, then that 20 is going to produce the results that, as far as portals to the Feywild are concerned, you are aware of the fact that, and this is actually listed in the book that you've been provided. I'm just going to scroll the screen up over here so that we're looking at the right place. Everybody, if you want to follow my arrows, you'll see that to the northwest of this town is a rather much storied and fairly talked about forest in the magical community known as the Portal Wood. Portal Wood is famous for having a connection to so many different places, both across Eidolon as well as the plains beyond, that it is become the place's name over the course of, thousands and thousands of years. The problem is the Portal Wood doesn't exactly have static or stationary, that's the word I'm looking for, stationary locations of portals that are there constantly over and over again and always working. Instead, it seems that they seem to almost kind of drift and move throughout the wood, and depending upon who has what charts and what information available, one can use it to kind of navigate and try and find entrances to other realms. The Portal Wood is thought to basically always at some point have a portal or two to the Feywild. So as far as a guaranteed bet, that is as close as you're going to get. Other sort of small legends and bits of lore held within that book indicate that it seems like there are, as I'm zooming out now, a heavy instance of creatures from the Feywild and those sorts of almost like border planes that sit directly on top or underneath of the material seem to come heavily from this mist-covered valley down here, far below these sort of tall mountain mesa or plateau structures right here. The other place that seems to have a lot of connection to the Feywild is this location up here. This little peninsula of land jutting out into the mist and sky here is known as the Dragon's Crest. And that lake up there particularly, you are aware of having many stories surrounding the presence of both Fey and Mal-Fey alike.
Anything on Fairy Well?
As far as a fairy well?
Yes.
The only thing that it makes reference to as far as wells are concerned is there seems to be some reference to an old and forgotten well of some kind in this wood over here. I'm going to zoom the stream back out so we can see what I'm talking about. But there's nothing concrete. The pages that mention it are sort of, they talk about it's just sort of rumors and like speculation from other travelers. There's no like hard evidence. The other location that seems to have a well of some kind with some sort of magical potency is over here, up in the far northeastern corner. So I'm zooming in the stream. Sorry, northwestern corner of the map, on that more sort of like rock and high ground isle that is past a couple of land bridges. It seems that this area, specifically this mountain range right here, if not perhaps maybe now as you check your map, this little blue dot is a well of some kind, but whether or not it's the one that you seek, you're not entirely sure.
Thank you, Gale. And I just give back the book and try to remember all the information and say under my breath, all right, that's taken care of.
What were you looking for?
Something that the Department of Portals of the Guild of Mazes told me to do.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you were talking about yesterday before we bedded down? You said you were going to share something with us?
Not exactly, because that thing is, well, just rumors. I have nothing concrete. One thing that is concrete is this head, and I just try to find the troll head and just show that to them.
Oh, okay. That's a head.
I'm glad to see you're victorious over the beast that felled my friends so long ago.
I just like look into its face. I'm like,
at this point, the head has displayed some of the almost more like horrifying aspects of the troll's biology, as it's managed to regenerate some of its flesh as if like almost a mold-like growth across the thing. It's clearly dead and in no way coming back to life, but it seems as if this thing's almost fungal-like biology has made it just a ready petri dish for any amount of bacteria, and it is, in a word, ripe.
I like continuing to wave like in its face, like I think it's dead.
I hope so. 3 of my friends died for, like 3 persons that I knew died for it. Karini, you knew Armin, right?
Yes. I was fortunate enough to help save Armin before we made our escape down in the southern part of Hope's Rise. We ran across some of those trolls in the forest. We barely got out with our skin intact, but it appears Armin's no longer with us.
That was his last act. And I put that on the table, or whatever we have. We have a deal with some miners in a village not far from here. They will give us some fun and weapons to kill the trolls. Maybe if we're lucky and strategic about it, we can keep some of what they gave us to go back and see what killed our friend yesterday.
I'm certainly game for any sort of revenge on the Mist Trolls after they've terrorized the guild so much.
Alright, let's finish the job.
I don't mind bashing in some heads.
Agreed.
So what do we need to get before we head down there? Do we need any supplies? I'd like to pick up a shield.
All right. I just to be sure, since that most people died and with all their good stuff on them and left us with nothing, maybe we could do some kind of communal chest or something, just to, if we die, at least we don't die with everything good we had on us. on us.
So let's find somewhere here, or build some sort of a vault or hiding place somewhere here. Although we don't have anything to hide.
Yeah,
Nor do we buy a shield.
a grand idea for when we have something to save, but I have pennies and just the equipment I have right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he just looks in his pockets and he's just like, a couple of gold pieces.
I foolishly
You have
overpaid
gold?
for a shield. So
You
I don't
have gold pieces?
I have 12.
That's what how much I have in silver pieces.
Ooh, he goes into like high five you.
I got nothing.
I got my coins. Right, wrong end.
Do you think I'd be able to trade this leather armor for a shield of some sort?
Maybe to dumb enough blacksmith.
Depends on the condition.
Depends on the blacksmith. The book run. Can you keep the head on you? I'm not that strong.
Sorry, who are you gonna team?
Book run.
Yeah. I can put it in my backpack.
Thank you. It's getting heavy.
All right, let's do this. Where are we gonna head? Do we need to go get supplies first, or are we gonna head down?
You should probably get supplies.
All right. There are no end of hawkers and merchants, as well as the Last Hope General Store that is across the street, or square rather, from the Temple of Yonqua. New Hope's General Store. Ugh, Last Hope is from a different thing. New Hope's General Store, you've been in a few times. It was the one that had its front caved in during the massive fight with the golem and that interdimensional energy beast. And having over the last few days managed to restore itself and get its stock back up and ready, you'll find that the interior still has all the bit of the supplies that you might need as travelers, from rope and rations to swords, torches, some curative elixirs, lamp oil. There's all of those odds and ends and sundries that you might need, as well as a number of sort of perfumes and small gifts and finer goods that might appeal to a higher end clientele, like the nobles who occupy the estates some small distance north of here.
Before we enter, I just grab Gale and say, "Can you show me your armor 1 second?"
Yeah, so I have this beautiful leather armor that is brand new because I just got here, and I would like to trade it for a shield of some sort, even
All right.
a small shield at this point until I can build up some funds.
I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation to make it sparkly and cleaner.
Okay, certainly. Prestidigitation serves as if a good buffing and waxing on the surface of this leather. If you'd like to get the most out of it, of course, go ahead and give me a persuasion check to see what you can convince this shopkeep of as far as it's worth.
I'm not doing the persuasion. Someone with better charisma, do it, please.
Wait, who has the 18 in here again?
That would be me.
Sick.
Yeah, I was gonna come over and interrupt while they were bargaining and just be like, clearly this is high quality material. You obviously need to pay us more for it.
All right, go ahead and give me that roll. Let's see if Karini knows what she's talking about when it comes to leather armor.
Is this persuasion or deception?
Persuasion. In this case, if you knew that the armor was inferior, it would be deception, but this is, you're not
Never
trying
used.
to sell it as something it isn't. You're just trying to, do it justice, if you will. So 19 persuasion. This person is willing to part with that leather armor for, or rather, part with about 15 gold for that leather armor. A shield will only run you 10.
I'm in. I'd like to make that trade. Thanks, guys. You guys rock.
If the shield is 10, I would like to get a shield as well.
All right.
We get a group discount on that since we're getting 2 from you there.
Go ahead and give me another persuasion check. This person seems very pliable at the moment. Ooh, 19.
There we go.
Pulling out the high roll. Ooh. Okay, this shopkeeper, in the face of these armored adventurers who are all kind of looking as if they're clearly ready to get into some sort of trouble and like they have vengeance on their mind, after this convincing word from Karini, simply says, well, of course, I mean, it would be rude of me not to. Well, I'll tell you what, for the leather, I'll give you 15 gold, and then for the 2 shields, I'll only charge you 15 gold, so we'll just call it an even trade. How about that?
Do I know with my history if a shield is worth 7.5 gold?
Shields are, it depends on the make of it and the quality, but you would expect to pay anywhere from 5 to probably about 12 gold would be the most expensive shield you'd buy before you started, like, just, you know, adding jewels and gold and silver to it.
It's
Yeah,
fine,
just kinda
it's
like-
fine.
I'm just gonna kind of raise my crappy one that I paid for with like 8 gold and just be like, guys, that's a good deal. I would take that deal.
Alright.
I'd like to purchase a crowbar and a grappling hook if they're available.
Okay,
as well.
the crowbars are available. There aren't grappling hooks, but there are spikes that you could easily, I mean, with a hammer, bend into the shape that you're looking for.
Sure.
Okay.
By the way, then, do you have some small gear or something like that? A small piece of metal or crafting materials?
Are you after, like, tinkerer's tools, like springs, that kind of thing?
More like not the tools, but just yeah, I
The
don't have any
materials?
money for that. The materials, yeah.
The materials are abundant, but this place doesn't necessarily have everything you'd need. They've only got, like, some springs. They've got some small brass and bronze fittings, as well as there's a couple of, like, the small glass fixtures you'd need. But as far as, like, for real engineering, you'd need to find likely either a less boutique general store or a blacksmith / tinkerers, engineers sort of laboratory.
Alright, thank you. I'm also gonna do a perception check to see if someone is looking at us or following us.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check. I'll wait for that. And I might have missed it in that exchange there, but with that business concluded, is there anything else that the party would like to try to buy before they head south, it sounds like? And with that 9 perception, you feel confident that there is no one following you.
Alright, I think we're safe. Grab your socks, we're going.
How much was the crowbar and the metal bits I needed for the grappling hook?
The crowbar will run you 3 silver, the grappling hook only 1 silver.
Alright, I gladly hand over 4 silver.
Alright. Without any further ado, it sounds like everyone's more or less ready to begin the journey south, which this party has already done once before, and a number of encounter checks probably await you. What route south do you plan on taking when looking at the roads provided? As I zoom the stream out and sort of show the total distance that the party is likely to have to travel in order to be able to redeem that troll's head for the value that it is worth.
Karini, do you know a safe route or the same route that you did with the other group?
When I joined the group when we were heading south, They had went down what I believe to be kind of like a really tall, like downward slope down, I guess off of Hope's Rise, down south, and then we came across like this path that kind of led between two forests towards a lake. And then when we got to the lake, it seemed to be acting strange, so that's when we detoured into the forest. That's where we encountered the trolls. So I know for a fact there's trolls around the southern part of Hope's Rise on the path heading into that village. But other than that, I'm not sure about the surrounding area.
We'll just take the main road, I guess, because there's no safe route. There's no quicker route, so the main route it is, I guess.
All right. Then, unless there's anything else that the party would like to do, I'm going to ask for an encounter roll as we move into this. But no rush, of course. If there's anything else that you'd like to do, or people you'd like to talk to, or anything you'd like to buy while you're still here in the town square, feel free. Just know that I am waiting like the Reaper.
I can make the roll if no one else wants to.
Just to be sure, I'm staying in the middle of all of you because I'm frail as a leaf.
I'll take front.
I would like to use my ability to cast Mage's Shield, or Armor, Mage's Armor.
All right. Mage armor is up. I will keep note on that. It lasts for 8 hours. And
I'll do the same, actually.
all right. And that makes 2 instances of mage armor up. One on the mage, one on the warlock. So from there, it sounds like our paladin was volunteering to make the second encounter roll of the evening.
Just real quick, I'm kind of new to Paladin still. I just want to clarify on a certain spell real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
Sanctuary, it's a first level spell.
Mhm.
Can I only prepare that if I've taken the oath of devotion? Is that how that works?
No. It's just if you've taken the oath of devotion, then it's something that like is automatically it's built into your class.
Okay, and as a paladin, I can only prepare spells while I'm resting, I assume?
Yeah, paladins are like clerics in that you can prepare spells ahead of time, and you know all of the spells of your class.
Okay, I'll deal with that when we get to another rest then. I just want to make sure. Thanks.
All right.
And
That 72 is going to start us off, and we will see
Sick.
what shenanigans the party is going to get into.
Hopefully it's just a bunch of dogs.
Oh, it's just looking. Looks like one of them has a treat for us.
We are the treat.
All right. The party. Boom, boom, boom. Move this up. Is going to make good time as they set off towards the southern ranch lands of Hope's Rise, and once again return to hopefully the small settlement of Fog Iron Landing and redeem this troll's head for the money that they deserve, having lost several of their guildmates in the encounter that was required to obtain it, as well as now being a bit overdue, honestly, in their collecting of it. One moment, I'm going to shift. You are going to be getting to just about actually the same area that you encountered the Mist Drake sessions and sessions ago. And this time, as you are descending that cliff into the farmlands below, you're going to notice that along the road approaching you, it has been some time now since you've seen any travelers or wagons or any number of like the common occurrences that should be coming and going at this point in the early midday of the goings on of Hope's Rise. last this descent was made, there was no shortage of travelers and folks on wagons, but as you get closer and closer towards the actual bottom of this descent, you start to hear in the distance through the fog a growling sound, as well as sort of these deep-throated murmurs, and almost like the casual conversation between like large, hulking, guttural creatures coming from some distance away.
Is that the same sound that the trolls did when they found us at their camp?
Go ahead. Well, give me a. I would take a perception check for that.
I was also, since I know giant, I was gonna see if I also recognize the same thing, or if I can make out if it was potentially the trolls. If I can make out what they were saying.
Go ahead and give me a perception check. All right, with that 20, you're going to be able to definitely confirm that it is not the trolls. They sound different. The trolls had almost kind of this spongy quality to their voice. There was like almost kind of this wetness to the way that they spoke. There's, by contrast here, kind of this almost yawp quality to the way that the speaking of these like gruff voices is, as well as then Karini with that 7 perception. You are going to recognize that this is definitely giant, but you are not going to be able to recognize what they're saying. You're going to, because that is over a 5, however, get the idea that it's probably not giants themselves speaking, as they tend to have a little bit clearer command of the language and a little bit more of like an intelligent speech pattern to them, whereas this has kind of like just this loose, like guttural, like rough-edged barbarism to it that makes you think that it's likely something lower on the food chain than giants.
And I'll turn and relay that to the group and let them know that I'm hearing the giant language spoken, but it's unclear as to whether or not they're true giants.
So do we?
I was just gonna say that Yang just shudders at the thought, just like giants.
Is there anywhere to hide off the side of the road that we might not be seen?
You would either have to climb up or down a cliff face of about
we will climb up
50 to 100 feet in order to kind of get off of the beaten path at this point. There is, based on where you are right here, this like sliver of land is, again, like, because you've gotten further down the slope, fairly high up, whereas this one off to the right side, which is below you, is now much closer. So you're a little bit more than midway between them, so you're looking at about a 50-foot climb on the east side, and then on the west side, actually closer to probably about a 60 to a 70-foot climb.
How far is the sound away?
With the 20 perception of Inel, it sounds like the noise is carrying about 100 feet, maybe more. The winds and also just the like kind of isolated nature of this cliff face path allow sounds to go pretty far, and as well these creatures are talking fairly loudly. With that, you aren't sure if maybe it's an issue of like the wind is making it seem like maybe they're further away than they are. There could be a little bit of distortion going on here, but you feel 100 feet is a safe estimate.
How wide is the road?
The road is about 80 to 110 feet wide, this path on the side of the cliff, depending on which section you're standing in.
Okay, so plenty of room.
Yeah.
Let's keep up positions and prepare for whatever's to come.
Foxcrow, I cast rope streak and say, "All right, guys, I'm going in my happy place. See you later." And I just climb up.
Okay, that is Inel's solution. What is everyone else doing?
You can climb up. You can just grab the rope and come in.
Sure.
You know what? Screw it. And I just start going up the rope.
I'm following him.
All right.
I'll go last.
Everyone is, it sounds like, joining Inel wisely in his rope trick. Inel...
I poke it back up and now we're invisible, guys. Don't talk, and I'm just gonna play solitaire like last time.
All right.
We pull up the rope.
The moments pass. In a couple of minutes, you are going to hear these voices draw closer. Karini, speaking giant, you're going to start hearing more clearly what is being said, and it sounds like one of these beasts is complaining, actually, oddly enough, about taxes. Not enough taxes. I'm going to have to find more. And there are a couple of other voices around it that are not as loud, almost as if they don't want to challenge this creature's authority, but all seem to be saying, "Oh, it's dangerous to stay here. We've overstayed as it is. The sun is up. The guard will be around soon." And the other one, the louder, more authoritative one says, "I care not about the guard. Let them come. I will take their armor back to Skerngar's tribute." And this kind of dialogue is going to continue back and forth as they debate the merits of continuing to stay out. Clearly, the term taxes is being used by these creatures to refer to likely the either extortion or wholesale robbery of travelers along this road, which would likely explain why there was a sharp drop-off in those approaching from the bottom of this stone ramp up this cliff face, as any would have been probably dissuaded by these marauders. Having now heard this, I would remind that because of rope trick, the way that it is, you kind of have to poke your head out in order to be able to see around. Otherwise, all you can kind of see is straight down onto the rock. So are you all going to just let this go by and remain motionless for a few minutes and hope that this all just goes by, or is there anything you'd like to do while you hear these voices in range?
I was gonna say, would I be able to kind of have any rough estimate of how many people are in this group that are passing by based just off of what I'm hearing?
Go ahead and give me another perception check at this point, but this one you'll be making with advantage because you speak the language and you're also much, much closer at this point. All right, that 18 is going to be enough that it sounds like there are 3 speakers, and then there is one more set of footsteps that you can hear that, while it doesn't seem to belong to a voice that is trying to make itself heard, there's kind of this extra weight and thump to it. Like the creature might be particularly heavy and maybe even walking with a little bit of a limp.
And I'm not familiar with the rope trick. If I were to say something, can they hear me and it not be too loud to where the...
Basically, think of yourselves, you think of it as you're up in a hunter's stand. There isn't anything that is going to stand in the way of these creatures being able to hear you. They can only just not see you. You're completely camouflaged. You are technically in another dimension, pocket space-wise, but there's a hole at the bottom of it. So anything that you say is coming directly out of the bottom of where you're kind of gathered around. meaning that while it's easy to whisper to your companions and not be overheard, any amount of like, if you start sharpening your axes or arguing or, you know, having some sort of loud conversation, then that would be, you know, clearly audible. But
I'll just kind of look around the to the group and just kind of like show up like 4, and then just kind of like do like money and like pointing at them.
We do need money.
we do.
I'll give the classic finger across the throat.
I'll do a thumbs up to like everybody.
We should probably wait till they come closer to us so we can like size them up.
Okay, so you do like a
Yeah.
hold on.
How close are they to us now? Are they under? Because we can see up to 3 by 5 foot under the rope trick.
Yeah, they are at this moment not directly underneath. As you didn't specify where exactly you were putting the rope trick up, I assumed that you were not doing it in the middle of the road. As you know,
Actually, I would do that. Where I was, I just pulled the rope trick up 10 feet and just said, "All right, giddy up."
all right. In which case, you would be in the middle of the road.
And we're only 10 feet off the ground.
Yeah,
10 feet, yeah.
you're 10 feet off the ground. It is important to note also that they can see up into the rope trick from underneath.
Okay.
And wait, no, an invisible entrance opens to an. Oh, I take that back. I feel like
We can. They cannot.
they
see
cannot.
that?
You just have to be able. You have to be able to. You have to stick your head out in order to be able to see around, but not down. I take that back. So yeah, you are for the time being at least invisible to their sight.
Dang.
Rope trick, I mean, while being entirely defensive, is an incredibly powerful spell if used properly.
It's a group invisibility.
Now, that is going to mean that eventually these creatures, whatever they are going to pass underneath you.
All right, once again, I'm just going to do like a thumbs up and look around real quick to everybody.
Yeah, we do.
What
it.
do they look like?
As they begin to pass underneath, you will see immediately that the one in the lead that you have heard talking and muttering about taxes is in fact a massive, hunched over humanoid of some kind with this shaggy mane of fur dreadlocked on one half of their hair, as well as other just greasy strands hanging down to past their mouth, which in and of itself is extra wide to the point that it looks like this creature could all but gobble up the front half of a horse if it was to spread its maw wide. There is no mistaking it to those of you who know the language of the giants, as this creature is fairly commonly known as an ogre. Ogres, within the context of this world, have a very similar one of traditional Dungeons and Dragons in that they are incredibly hardy folk while also being strong and resistant and resilient to many forms of damage, and almost ever hungry for more, both like flesh as well as material wealth and power. There are, of course, like everything in Eidolon, small secrets and bits of lore surrounding ogres that might or may not be useful, depending on what the party may or may not be able to produce from their own personal experiences. But you all know that they are not to be underestimated in terms of their savagery in a melee combat. That is going to be the first one to pass underneath your vision, and then On either side of it, you're going to see another 2 ogres as well. These ones less hairy, less in terms of both stature and mass. It seems like they are either likely younger or perhaps just scrawnier than this one that seems to be throwing its muscle around and muttering about the tribute that it needs to collect. Then, last but not least, the heaviest one, the silent one that you heard moving and not speaking earlier, Karini, is going to come into view. And this one has all the same characteristics as the one ahead of it in the terms of its mass and size and gnarled hair and just generally disheveled appearance. However, you will also note that its skin color is like that of sort of a frosted, like a dark ice. There is this blue streak that seems to run all throughout its body, and there's something about it that even in its silence gives you the impression that it has no fear of its other 3 companions despite their size and muscle.
As I see them and realize what they are, I'll just kind of like look around the group and like mouth the word ogres without like speaking.
I was gonna say, we do it. Wait, are we doing it?
As the big blue one passes beneath us, hold up like 5 fingers and start a countdown. And as I close the last fingers, I'll jump down to and try to drive my sword into the big blue ogre with a mighty leap down.
After I notice him falling down, I just immediately drop down as well.
All right.
I'm gonna cast Sanctuary
Probably
of Faith and also drop.
Who are you casting Sanctuary on?
Oh, sorry, myself.
Got it.
We're gonna cast Fire Bolt on the first one too.
So then there's only one other thing to do, which is to move the party over to a battle map, which I have gotten going at this point. One moment. I will center the screen so everyone knows where we are. There we go. You will find yourselves here.
I cast as I jump.
Cool. Now, let's go ahead and you will all have the benefit of a bonus round as this is occurring. I'm dropping your tokens right now. It sounds like Bakran and Karini and Yane were the first 3 down. It sounds like Inel is remaining up in the actual rope trick itself for the time being. And Gale, it sounds like you were also, because you're casting a spell on yourself, and Karini is also casting a spell on themselves. So 2 are dropping down, and then 3 are prepping for the battle. So,
And I'm done right. Yeah.
sorry, what was that? You cut out a little.
I want to cast that mirror image as I jump, or right before. Or how?
Yeah, you'll want to cast it before, because trying to cast midair can sort of cause problems.
Okay.
But Herd, you're also jumping down. So then Inel will be the only one remaining up in the rope trick. That will put you all down on the ground there, basically surprising the hell out of this blue ogre that is in the back and just so menacingly lumbering forward. I will be looking for... I'm just going to go with the first one to say that they were jumping down, which I believe was you, Bakran. So, Bakran, if you want to go ahead and give me your attack for your leap down and trying to jam your weapon into this ogre. And then as well, Yane, if you also want to give me yours, we'll see.
Do they get extra damage because of gravity, or...?
They get advantage 1 because this is a surprise, so... Alright, that 15... Ooh, okay. That 15 is not
Nat
enough
20,
to
baby.
beat the AC of this ogre. So unfortunately, it looks like Bakran, you are going to leap down and manage to hit the creature, but find that it's like pale blue flesh seems to turn the blade of your weapon aside, as if harder and tougher than even that of like cured horse's hide or bear leather. This creature is otherwise so durable that it's going to take a much more calculated strike at perhaps one of its more vulnerable areas if you're hoping to puncture. Meanwhile, it looks like Yane, having noticed in a split second that their companion's attack was not having the effect that they were hoping it would, is going to tilt their weapon slightly and manage to jam it into the neck of that ogre as he lands.
Yeah.
Yane, don't forget to roll again because you have advantage. And double crits, you know. I definitely try and honor that with superior results. So that's
asking too much.
Yeah. So hey, man, it happens. It's only a 1 in 400 to get 2 20s. So go ahead and roll your critical damage.
Oops, sorry, wrong button.
Yeah, no worries. You can just click the text underneath the actual critical itself, and that will roll it with the critical modifiers. There you go. All right, so 20 damage, not bad. As you manage to drive your greatsword into this creature's neck, the ogre is forced to actually grab a hold of the blade with its leathery palm, kind of drawing blood from the inside of its fingers and pulling it free. You see that this blow, which would have otherwise almost instantly slain most mortal men, is just like this inconvenience to the creature as it reaches up with its other hand, and you see that its neck begins to instantly frost over where the blood was leaking out, staunching the flow from the wound and starting to, almost in kind of this magical way, repair the flesh that was there underneath the like layers of forming frost that kind of emerged from this creature's hand. This is, of course, so much of a stylistic ad, but it is an important thing for our adventurers to perhaps note. Now, that is the actions of your jump round, except for Inel. Go ahead and give me your light off with your firebolt. I'll need the attack roll for that. You'll have advantage as well. 24 and 19. All right, both of those would have hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
Alright, I forgot how to roll damage.
Oh, you just click on the text underneath the actual the roll itself. You do it in chat, not on your character sheet. Yeah, there you go. So that's 7. All right, that bolt of fire is going to crash into the creature's chest, incinerating some of its like just kind of furry mane that is coming out of its collar and the top of its chest, and leaving a deep wound in its flesh. Unlike the swords of your companions, which seem to have a tough time cutting through the almost super dense material of this creature's muscle, it seems like the fire from your hand has burned with an exceptional amount of results, as the creature bellows now in pain and frustration, looking up confusedly into the sky, not understanding why this has happened, as 4 individuals have literally rained out of nowhere and begun trying to pummel it. That being done, that's everyone's opening jump round action, as the ogres are now going to be aware of the combat. Gale used mirror image.
Alright.
So
still, they don't know we're there yet, right?
Sorry, what?
The ogres, they don't know that we're still up in there.
You said you were jumping down.
Okay, yeah, okay, just checking.
Yeah. So if you've jumped down, then at that point the ogres are aware of the 4 who are on the ground, but they are not aware. Inel, who is up in the air still.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. I'm going to give you that purple dot to indicate the mirror image so I don't forget about that. And Inel, I'm going to give you the ninja dot to indicate that you are still up there inside of that extra dimensional space and hidden from view. But after that, everyone go ahead, click on your character tokens and roll initiative while I do the same for these ogres as we are going to get into it. It looks like with the element of surprise on their side, the party might stand a chance in this battle. Ooh, initiatives. Kind of hot and cold. Let me go ahead and clear out. Ooh, that's awkward. There's all these old dead party members in here. Ooh, sorry about that. Wah, wah. Karini, Bakran, Yane, Inel, and it looks like... Am I missing one? Oh, yeah, Kyle, I guess, a.k.a. No, that's Bakran, Yane, Karini. Oh, Gale. Gale, I'm missing yours. 5, got it. Just going to manually add that really quick and then get these ogres in the initiative order. It seems like... Oh, that's pretty fun. 13.
Just for your notes, with Shield of Faith on me, my AC will be 20.
20. All right, thank you very much. And also to remind me of that, I'm going to drop... Is there a good shield icon? Yeah, there we go. Drop that shield onto your token. And... one more ogre. This last one is going to be joining us at a 12 initiative. All of them did pretty well. Get that descending right there. I'm going to start adding some combat music onto the top of this because things are going to start getting real.
Don't forget, Gil and I have mage armor up.
Oh yeah. And you'll need it too. These ogres are not messing around.
See, now I'm kind of glad I bought a shield.
Yeah.
All right. It looks like, according to my calculations, the ogre in proximity to the rest of the party is the one that is going to be going first. And I'm going to zoom out here a little bit, as well as illuminate some more of the environment for our heroes so they can get a better idea of where they are as they do battle with these ogres. You would do well to note that to your west is the rising cliff, and to the east, of course, is the sharp drop-off into the misty valley below you. The road is still, for the time being, empty of any would-be passerbys. Would they be casualties or aid in this situation? It's unlikely, but you are going to be going this alone. So, that blue ogre not wanting to be outdone in terms of surprises. It's going to 1, 2, 3, yeah. So it is going to take an attack of opportunity from Yane and then shift over towards where Karini is, so it's on this side of the ogres. Yane, go ahead and roll your attack of opportunity. Ooh.
Well,
that is not going to be enough.
the Nat 20 really got me down now.
It left my threat range as well, right?
It is actually, sorry, I'm moving it. It's staying right about here, so you should still, so you will still have it in your threat range.
Perfect.
And then it is going to open its giant slavering maw, and you're going to notice all too late that the saliva kind of coming down off of the back rows of its teeth begins to solidify and turn into small icicles as pooling sort of flakes of frost and snow begin to swirl about the back of its throat. And with a crackling sound like that of breaking ice, there is a just storm of ice and snow as well as magical cold that produces from its mouth and is going to hit not Karini, but it's going to hit our companions Yane and, well, all three of the half-orcs, Yane, Gale, as well as Bakran. I'm going to need dexterity saving throws from the three of you.
Question, I can see this coming, right?
You can see this coming, yes.
Hey, I have danger sense. Let's do this.
Okay.
I mean, this is an AoE, so I'm not sure if it applies, but could I use protection to give, I think Bakran's the name, advantage on this, potentially?
One moment. I believe it does not apply because of the AoE.
Yeah, it wasn't very clear. I just figured I'd try.
Double checking.
Oh, no, it says attack roll. Yeah,
Yep.
sorry.
Yep. No worries. So it is an AoE, so that's going to be 3 dexterity saving. Oh, no, sorry. That's... Oh, that's unfortunate. Gale, I'm also, I believe, because of mirror image, spell's duration, 3, 2 duplicates. Unfortunately, because it's an area attack, it is still going to bypass your mirror image.
So what do I need to roll?
You'll roll a dexterity saving throw. Because mirror image only protects you if something targets you specifically with either an attack or a spell of some kind. And because he's basically just spraying this cone of cold outwards, it's going to... it doesn't take away any of your mirrored images, so you'll still have those, but you also don't have the benefit of him accidentally hitting one of your illusions. Oh, that is going to be 2 failures then and 1 success. So the damage on this thing is going to be... Whoa, God. Okay, so that's going to be 18 cold damage to the 2 who failed, and 9 cold damage to our fighter Bakran, who was able to make the dexterity saving throw on that. And all 3 of you who have been hit by it are going to be slowed for, well, until the end of your next turn, as you are now just covered in frost, and you can feel your armor having hardened with the cold, as well as your muscles having tensed up, and your blood having rushed to your center to try and preserve what life force and thermal energy you have. So the 3 of you with blue dots will have only half of your movement available at the beginning of your turn. The ogre has moved, it has used one of its abilities, and it is also then going to... doesn't really have anything for the moment. Yeah, no, it's gonna hold off. So that's it. After that, we go to Bakran Growl. Bakran, our resident fighter, and only one to have made the dexterity saving throw. What would you like to do? Oh, sorry, Bakran, you made the save. You are not slowed. You took half damage.
Cool. I will hit him.
A noble endeavor. Bakran, swing. All right, that 15 is not going to be enough, as it seems that this ogre's AC is just higher than that.
All right. I'll then second wind.
Second wind. All right. Seeing the fighter rally an internal strength of theirs and breaking free of some of the frost and ice that has otherwise coated them, they let out a resounding "ah!" as they sort of seem to reinvigorate themselves. So that's going to be your attack and your bonus action. You've got your movement left, Bakrun. Is there anything you'd like to do with that?
Nope. I'm just gonna stay where I am.
All right, as the wolf howls in the background. So from there, Bakrun, we go over to Yane Gorbrook, standing right next to our friend Bakrun. What do you want to do? As you did take the brunt of, along with Gale, that freezing attack, and now find yourself kind of withered by this cold.
Ooh, I do have a question.
What's up?
So the cone of like the radius of damage, did it also hit his friend too, or was it just short?
It did not. It was just short. He basically angled it straight back this way.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move here.
Okay,
And I'm just gonna smack him a bit.
go for it. Just see what happens. Ooh, no.
I go into a rage.
All right. Hopefully that will save you. So, raging is a bonus action, and having attacked as your main action, that leaves you with a little bit of movement left if you want to circle around or anything, but is there anything else for your turn?
You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna move back to my place. Can I do that?
If you do, well, okay, hold on. One, having shifted that direction in the first place is going to cause this ogre to get an attack of opportunity on you. Two, if you shift back without disengaging, then this ogre mage will get an attack of opportunity on you.
Yeah, I'll just stay there then.
That ogre is going to be successful with their attack of opportunity, Yane. And you're going to take 6 damage as their crude club sort of bounces off of your back, and you can feel your muscles seize and tighten to try and protect your bone from shattering. It is a blow that you are able to kind of, move with and kind of shake some of the momentum from, but you realize that, man, if one of these things were to hit you dead center for all of the damage it's capable of, it might be lights out one of these days. But Yane, I think that's going to be your turn then, if you're happy where you are.
Yep.
All right.
Dang, I took a lot of damage.
From there, we go to the ogre that just bopped Yane. And looking in front of it and seeing the fact that the warlock has multiple versions of itself, kind of like all dancing around and either like halfway through fake spells or with swords in the air, this thing is not going to want to mess with that and is instead going to attempt to try and polish off one of these people that has been already struck over here.
I use protection to oppose disadvantage.
That you absolutely can do, and so by using protection, that disadvantage is going to be the difference between a hit and a miss, as you are going to see the ogre's swing coming and Karini quickly move over and pivot to block the incoming blow with your shield and prevent your companion Bakrun, I keep wanting to switch the orc names, Bakrun from otherwise getting clobbered by this ogre. The ogre is going to let out just this frustrated cry of rage. This little one does not seem to have more than one attack with its turn, so not wanting to do much else, it's basically just going to remain there as we then pass it on to now the bigger one that was in the lead and had been mumbling about taxes and tribute. This ogre is going to, given the situation, leave the 2 smaller ones to deal with that crowd, and he is going to circle around and attempt to deal with Gale, wanting to claim the prize of smashing the mage. And it looks like the ogre is gonna be capable. Gale, what's your AC currently?
15 right now with the mage armor and the shield.
Got it. So he is going to fail to. If you well, hold on. The attack instead of target. Okay, sorry, right. I almost did that wrong. Roll a d20 to see if his attack goes at one of your duplicates, because your duplicates have a lower AC than you do. All right, 16, which I believe, yes, that makes it go towards one of the duplicates indeed. And he is not going to be, he wouldn't be able to hit you with your mage armor, but he can hit one of your duplicates that does not have the benefit of that protection. So you will lose one of your, I believe three, yes, of your 3 illusionary duplicates. You are now down to 2 body doubles, Gale, and yourself. But then the creature is going to attack again, being burlier and stronger and more savage than the other ogres in terms of its lust for combat. And so go ahead and give me another roll to see whether or not it hits you or one of the duplicates. All right, with that, it's going to hit you, but it's because your AC is 18, fail to hit you. So that will not cost you one of your duplicates, and you will also not take any damage from that. Luckily enough, the ogre, despite its size, rolled very poorly on its turn. Inel, that is going to be up to you as you watch out the scene sort of play out below. It's anybody's guess as to who might emerge victorious. You've yet to see the back and forth exchange between your party really play out in full. What would you like to do?
The good old reliable. I'm gonna poke my head and cast magic missile at the blue one, first level.
Okay.
3d4, right?
Yes, absolutely. 3d4 plus 3, because each missile has a plus 1. All right.
So 10 damage.
10 damage. Okay. You're going to see that it doesn't seem like this force damage has the same kind of bang for the buck that the firebolt does, but nonetheless, it has the advantage that it is unerring in its path towards the ogre mage, as one after another, with a thump, 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 these coalesced balls of your own will streak through the air and strike the creature one after another like it was being battered by a cudgel of some kind. And you can see now it is looking up into the air, certain this time that there's some sort of spell source of whether or not a wizard or some illusion or what it is, but it's emerging from the air around it, and you can see it kind of begin to squint and try and like figure out in its mind exactly what's happening here. But for the time being, it looks more confused than anything. Inel, that's your action. You still got your bonus in your movement. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I have bonus. I'm gonna check if I have any bonus cantrip.
Okay.
Nope.
Nope.
I have nothing, so I'm just gonna place it there again.
You got it. Remaining, we'll call it the Inel special at this point, is the... and
Yeah.
that is going to pass over to the other ogre, who is going to try and see what Karini is made out of, not having really any experience with this paladin. Karini, your AC with your Shield of Faith... Or wait, no, you've got Sanctuary, right? Oh, no, Shield of Faith, yeah.
Shield of Faith, yeah.
Your
So I should
AC
have
is
chainmail and a shield.
18 or
and
20? No, 20. I remember you telling me. So
I just want to make sure I did it right. So I had chainmail, so that's like base 16, and then I got a shield, which should add 2 for 18.
Yeah.
And then the spell gives me 2 for 20, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yep, that's 20.
For 20, it is still going to be able to hit. That is just the line of its attack, but it is going to be able to break your AC. And this creature is going to swing for a total of... That's 6 plus... That's going to be 10 damage, Karini, as this creature's weapon is unsophisticated, but the mass and the strength behind it drives a concussive blast into your chest as it reverberates inside of your chainmail. Not having a second attack and anything to do with its bonus action, that's the ogre's turn.
I have concentration for that. Do I need to make
Yes,
the
you do.
save?
Go ahead and give me a concentration check as you attempt to... That is going to be more than enough, so your shield of faith will hold. As you see the ogre's club, like, both kind of reaches this magical barrier between you and it, and then shatters through it. But as it withdraws the club, the sort of radiant strands of magic recoalesce into this floating shield that is guarding you. And from there, it seems we go to Gale, Warcrier. Gale, you see that you and your companions may have your work cut out for you, but for the time being, their strongest warrior is having a hard time pinning you down. What would you like to do?
So am I 10 feet from these guys or 5 feet?
You are 5 feet from from your companions or from the ogres?
From these two ogres, am I?
These
10 feet
ogres are they are both within range. You could attack them with a melee here because they're sort of standing in the center of those tiles there, so they are kind of occupying both, really.
Okay, so I am going to attack.
I'll move them forward just a little. There we go.
Okay. I'm going to move. No, I'm just going to attack this one on the right.
All right.
Yep, that one.
You got it.
And I'm going to use my packed weapon. That will be a great sword at this point, dealing 2d6 if I can hit
Got
with
it.
advantage.
Go ahead and give me that attack roll.
I actually don't have that weapon, so I'm just going to roll the dice.
That's fine.
Plus 3, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, all right.
Just
Unfortunate, as it seems like this opening round after that surprise is not going well for our companions. While these ogres prove semi-easy targets, it seems that because of their natural leathery hide, that clumsy strikes from our adventurers are not going to be enough to accumulate damage on them. Unfortunately, Gale, that's going to be... You said that you're not interested in moving, so I believe that's going to be your turn.
Well, I just don't want to move first. I do want to move, but there's no way to disengage at this point, right? Did you hear that?
Oh, there's...
Okay.
I heard that you wanted to move second, but I didn't hear anything about the disengage. Is that what you said?
Move, but is because I already attacked, I can't disengage, right?
Not unless you have something that turns that disengage into a bonus action. So, like, say the rogue's cunning action or some of the other classes' abilities, like the monk's step of the wind.
Okay, I am actually going to move. I'm going to move over to here.
All right.
You're slow, remember.
Yep. One moment.
Okay,
That's 15 feet, though.
Yeah, about right.
Yeah,
I
you're
want
fine.
to move.
All right, so that other ogre, this ogre having used its reaction to attack, to make the opportunity attack earlier, is not going to be able to hit you. If you are backing up, though, this ogre is definitely going to use its attack of opportunity to try and hit you. And, all right, go ahead and roll for whether or not it lands on one of your doubles or one of you. All right, that is definitely going to be one of your doubles. but that is going to mean that it's going to be able to hit it. So as it smashes through yet again another one of the illusionary copies of Gale, leaving you with only one body double now, this ogre's frustration and confusion are going to become palpable on its face as it kind of makes a cross-eyed expression, and it's just, "Ah! What's wrong with you? Why aren't you in the same place?" As it tries to smash again in frustration at the same spot where the illusion has just disappeared. All right, Gale, that's your movement. That's your action. You've got your bonus left if there was anything you wanted to do with that, but...
Doesn't look like it.
All right, you got it. Then from there, last but not least, we go to Karini Selkadora, our paladin, and hopefully the one who will be getting our players out of this mess with some big old wrathful vengeance.
We're gonna try.
What are you doing?
All right, so Karini's gonna take out her holy symbol and point it towards the big ugly who just missed swinging wildly, the leader there, and I'm gonna say to the creature there, the name of the goddess Avari, I command you to stop or suffer death. And I'm going to use Abjure Enemy.
Okay.
Needs somebody to wisdom saving throw.
It is not going to be successful.
It's frightened. Its speed is 0. As long as it doesn't take damage, it's basically it can't do anything.
Got it. It is going to begin quaking in, well, they're not really boots. They're more like kind of crude fur wraps around its giant, like disgusting toenails and feet. But it's going to begin quaking in those as it looks at you and then also at Gale and the rest of you. And it's going to, you can see in its mind start to feel the crushing weight of Avari's greatness, the goddess trapping the ogre inside of a prison of its own fear of attachment and unwillingness to let go. So that is, I believe, your action.
I'm definitely not going to move, and I don't really have any bonuses without dropping my concentration, so I'm just going to call it there.
Okay, nicely done. I'm going to drop a dot onto our ogre there. I'm going to call it...
I will call out to the other players. My companions, do not attack that one.
I'm going to give it that little dot of the guy losing his mind and clutching his head. I think that's appropriate. Karini, then, short but sweet, as you manage to effectively, for the time being, take one of the more high-powered ogres out of this combat. That is going to roll us over to the top of the order with this ogre mage. Seeing what's going on here and not liking it one bit, the mage is going to continue to now swing on the fighter, having done what it considers to be the most damage to him already. Sorry, not Yane, Bakrin. I'm going to be doing that all night. Bakrin, your AC right now is 14 or 16, sorry.
My AC is 19.
19. Oh, excellent. So you are going to be able to ignore this creature's first attack, but it does get another one, and it looks like that one you will not be able to ignore, as this ogre is wielding a greatsword that seems to have some sort of magical properties imbued into it, as when it drives into your flesh, you're going to feel it deliver some sort of like piercing magical discharge into your body that almost feels like the crackle of lightning. And you're gonna take a total of math with strength bonus. That's gonna be 18 damage. Holy shit. Also, pardon my French. So that is 18 damage to, and almost near max of what that creature can do in a single melee. But with that delivered, the ogre mage is going to feel pretty confident about what's going on here still, and we're going to pass it over to Bakrin. Bakrin, your turn.
All right, I try to get him back.
You got this. I believe in you.
$16. That is the line. That is exactly what you need to hit this ogre.
All right. The belief was what made the difference, and as I strike him, I will bring my shield across his face, dealing additional damage and distracting him to give whoever attacks him next advantage.
All right.
Thank you.
Whoever attacks it next will have advantage, and that is going to be a total of 10 damage from a longsword. That's not bad. As you drive it into the creature's flesh and twist it about, it is like almost hacking through like a frozen thatched roof for all the give that it has, as it almost threatens to like sort of stick to the blade as you wrench it from the creature's innards.
The maneuver does 7 damage as well for a total of 17.
17 damage. Excellent. Let me tick that off. All right. Got it. And then from there, Bakran, if that's your turn, we go to Yane. Yane, our orc friend below our orc friend, what would you like to do?
Well, I can't waste that opportunity.
It
So,
does seem
I'm
a
a-
shame
I'm
to
a-
waste it.
Yeah, I'm a smack him. I'm a smack him.
Go for it.
You got
Oh,
advantage.
wait, yeah.
Ah!
How is this possible?
Even
That's a good
with
question.
the advantage, it's not going to prove enough. This ogre mage is a crafty and also rather well-armored opponent. Your greatsword is going to bounce off of one of the large metal pauldrons that it has on its shoulder as it kind of leans into the attack, anticipating the angle of the strike.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my bonus action to finally, get down to business and go into a frenzy.
All right.
Boom.
Boom. We have now gone from just, mildly upset to a rage to a frenzy, and it seems that Yane is gonna full tilt Hulk out, having had just about enough of these disgusting ogres. We are then going to go to this ogre's turn right here. This ogre has a number of possibilities in front of it. Foremost, however... Okay, so having heard Karini tell the rest of her companions not to attack that ogre, this one is going to look at its companion's state of fright and terror as it quakes and hovers there, having been on the obvious receiving end of some sort of magic from the paladin. And it is actually going to spend its turn grabbing a hold of this ogre and literally slapping some sense into it and striking it and shaking it from its frightened state.
Does it provoke?
As it does so, it will provoke an attack of opportunity from you, Bakran. And, one moment, let me double check. Frightened for 1 minute, damage. Alright, that means that this creature is no longer frightened. Its turn has returned to it, but you did effectively cancel out the economy of one of these ogres, and that 15 is just not gonna cut it, as these things are... Well, they're... Oh, sorry, no, I take it... Yeah, no, that 15 is not gonna cut it. Alright, Bakran, your attack complete, and this ogre's turn wasted. We now get on to the leader, who, having had some sense slapped into it by his companion, is now going to be less concerned with Gale and more concerned with Karini, as that attack seemed to be just a little bit more than it was willing to deal with. Magic being a line in this ogre's opinion, and you being weak. I'll show your goddess. And it is going to come over and try and full tilt smash Karini. Both of those attacks are going to be successful. One almost a critical. Karini, you are going to take... The first attack is going to be a total of 13 damage. The second attack is only going to be a total of 5, however.
I'm down.
Ooh.
Alright, Karini is down for the time being. That is going to go over to Inel. Inel, you are up.
Alright. Oh, that's...
There's one failure from Karini.
Looking at the situation, we have to finish one of them quickly and cast I wanted to cast Burning Hands, but I don't think I can reach the frosty one. No, can I?
Unfortunately not, because you're still 10 feet off the ground, so you'd be able to hit the one that's directly underneath you, this one. But that 15 feet would actually only go to here because of the angle.
Alright, I'm going to cast Magic Missile at level 2 on the blue one.
Alright. Go for it.
Wow.
And I believe each one of those gets +2?
+1.
+1? Then
Each of them is +1, so it's 10 damage again.
10 damage again. Alright. You're going to see this really is starting to add up on this creature, as it is badly injured now from all of the attacks it's taken. Not looking good, as this assault of magic missiles looks to almost break one of this creature's arms backwards, almost causing it to drop the greatsword that it's attacking with. So that is going to be your action, Inel. Is there anything you want to do with your bonus or your movement?
I scream in Primordial. Let my servants live, and I'll give you 10,000 gold.
Going to attempt to deceive it?
Yeah, in Primordial, so it sounds...
Yeah, like
What?
it's just
No.
coming out of the sky. I get you.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead, give me a deception check as you attempt to put on your best, disembodied voice from above, and see if you can fake these ogres into having a religious experience.
Yes!
All right, 21. Let's not get excited here. All right.
I was.
It seems like the two smaller ones are very much so willing. They're like, whoa, and kind of stop for a moment. But it seems like the ogre mage, having kind of a firmer hand on them, is like, it's just a wizard. Keep attacking. And so, Inel, your deception, while it looks like if it was just some of the dumber ones, probably would have worked perfectly, the brain on that magic user is going to be enough to just spot the fake there. And, Inel, if you're not moving, then
I'm not moving.
that deception was your bonus. We're now going to go over here to this ogre, which, having watched Karini just go down, is going to be interested in trying to attack, likely without moving. Yeah, it's just going to be one Bakran Growl. That attack is going to miss wildly, as they're trying not to get in the way of their commander and accidentally clock them in the side of the arm or the head, and then end up having to deal with that later on. So then we go from there to Gale. Gale, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Am I still slow from the cold?
No, that only lasted the one turn, so you are no longer slowed.
Okay, perfect. So I am going to move away from this fight, and when I get to far back enough, 30 feet, I'm going to fire a short bow at the one that NL just damaged.
All right. Go for it. You can give me that attack roll. I see you slid over. We'll see what happens. That's an 11. All right. That is not going to be enough, unfortunately, to hit. I was just double checking. I thought you might have flanking, but you do not at the moment. So that is not going to be with advantage. So, yeah, that's your movement. That's your attack. Anything for your bonus for the time being, Gale?
Did my speech at least distract them for this turn or something?
And again, the little ones are mulling it over. They're seeming like they have some sort of, like, they're not 100%, like, they're a little panicked by this situation. But with the presence of their leaders currently there, they do not really have a choice in the matter. And Gale, I'm sorry, did you say that was it for your turn?
Correct.
All right, thank you very much. And then we go over to Karini. Karini, go ahead and give me that death saving throw, as all you can do in this round is bleed. All right, that is successful. Woo! We then go over now to our Ogre Mage, who has less interest in Karini, and is again going to try and smack Bakran Growl with his greatsword. That attack is not going to be successful. Oop, this D20 keeps rolling right off the table. That second attack is also not going to be successful. That 19 AC really paying off right now. Only missing you by a couple of points each time. This Ogre Mage's attacks are sparking off of your armor. And you're seeing as the greatsword is trying to find like any sort of flaw or weak link in this chain, but for the time being, you are going to be safe. And then from there, we go to Bakran Growl. Bakran, you're being set upon on all sides right now in the middle of a storm that a mountain could hardly weather. What would you like to do?
What is it to feed a healing potion to somebody else?
It is an action.
I will pull the single healing potion I have and help Karini or whoever's down.
That is Karini.
Yeah.
And I will feed it to them.
All right, Bakran. This is likely to be one of the pivotal moments in this fight and deciding whether or not the party is going to make it or fail. So go ahead, roll the health for that healing potion, and we will see if Karini will be able to turn the tides.
10.
Yep, 10.
Thank you.
10 health. Karini is up. Bakran, that's your action. You have your bonus left and your movement. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I'll action surge.
Action surge. All right, I like it.
I will attempt to strike the blue ogre once more.
Go ahead and give me that roll. That hits.
Hey, and once again, I will expend that superiority to dice to hit him with my shield as well and do the extra damage and distract him.
Got it. Go ahead, give me your damage roll, your superiority die. We'll see. Okay, man. The longsword is mighty in the hands of Bakran, as both times you've managed to really just put the weight of your shoulder and hips into it as you lunge forward with this sword, striking over the top of your shield. And that is, with that 15 damage and the 10 damage that Inel had done earlier, going to be enough to drop this ogre.
I give a mighty orcish war cry in victory.
Excellently done. Had you even a couple points less damage, this creature would not be down right now. And that is going to, if that's your action, that's your whole turn unless you're going to move.
Nope, I'm staying where I'm at.
Standing his ground, Bakran, now covered in icy ogre blood, is going to let out a fighter's cry, and we go now to our barbarian in the midst of a savage frenzy. Yane, what are you going to do?
I moved over to the other area. As he does his war cry, I reciprocate as I go to attack this big boy.
All right. Swinging on him. Go for it.
Oh! Why? Why?
Oh, indeed. And that is going to be a critical failure. I'm going to roll for variance here as it looks like you are accidentally going to end up clobbering your friend. Go ahead and make another attack roll, Yane, against now your companion Bakran. All right, that is not going to be enough to break their AC, so fortunately, Bakran, you're going to see this attack coming, and your shield is going to be in place enough to deflect your companion's frenzied swing, which goes wide and might have otherwise like taken out a couple of your floating ribs and some of that precious torso meat. So you're going to be able to laugh that one off later, I'm sure, but for the time being, Yane, that is not going to be a successful attack.
Well, let's try again, since I am in a frenzy.
He is in a frenzy.
Are you kidding me?
That is not going to be
Why do you
enough.
wait?
Can't seem to roll an 11 or higher right now.
Jeez.
That is going to be another massive swing of your greatsword, but also a whooshing miss as it just passes through the air. This creature, despite its size, also surprisingly agile. Can move around for a big guy. Yane, is that the end of your turn, or would you like to move?
No, I'm good.
All right. Then we go from Yane to this ogre over here, who is going to, having awoken his companion last round, now charge over and see if he can get a piece of this kind of clumsily swinging half-orc that looks like is maybe going a little bit too wild for their own good. And that is going to be a successful hit, as Yane, you're going to take a total of, that's going to be 7 damage. Not that much.
Divided by 2.
Y'all, these people keep on rolling higher than 16. I'm real sad.
Yeah, no, this is getting real sad. Now we have our big bad ogre boss here in the center, infuriated by this act of kindness in the middle of a battlefield where they should otherwise be only concerned with death and destruction. This ogre is going to attack Bakran now with a renewed fury. Yeah, what's up? Oh, protection?
Protection.
You got it. And that protection is going to not be necessary, as the creature is going to roll a critical failure.
Woo!
And we will see
I'm not the only one.
exactly what awaits this as I roll for variance. And it looks like instead of accidentally attacking one of its companions, it is going to, while attempting to swing and hit our companion Bakran, drive their weapon into the ground so hard that it breaks. To the ogre's dismay, their weapon just shatters in their hands. Their strength, it seems, a little bit more than was necessary, and this thing can only be battered against solid stone so many times. And the ogre is now going to look at it, its more or less empty hands, frustrated and not sure what to do. So that was its first of 2 attacks. It is now... this is tricky. Hold on.
Verbal oof comes from Yane.
I'd like to taunt them.
This creature is taunt via an ability, or you just want it noted that you are making fun of these ogres?
I want to make it noted that I am taunting them and hollering at them and talking shit to them.
All right, in order to try and miss out on an attack of opportunity, this creature is going to, instead of shifting around and exiting people's squares and re-entering them, it is just going to go straight up and over, using a decent athletics check to instead leap over the party, remaining on guard and preventing them from getting any attacks of opportunity, but at the same time is going to then expend the remainder of its turn to scoop up that greatsword from the downed ogre. But that is it. So it does not get a second attack. It is not doing anything else. That is all of its movement and all of its economy. But now this ogre captain has been reinvigorated with the presence of a magical greatsword to replace the, while sturdy, or at least seemingly sturdy, now shattered weapon that it was wielding moments ago. From there we go to Inel Nasera. Inel?
I say in like I got primordial accent, but in common, you have been warned, and I see the claw of the god Inel, and I just cast magic missile at level 2 on the big guy.
All right.
The new big guy.
The claw of Inel is a harsh thing as it grasps at the ogre and compels yet more magic to streak forth from its claw and collide with the creature. 1, 2, 3, 4, battering it across its body and causing it to wince in pain. You can tell that this ogre is definitely, I mean, despite the punishment that it's taken so far, in a much more fighting shape than that ogre magi was, as it seems to almost revel in the punishment here. From there, Inel, that's your action. Your bonus and your movement, are you doing anything?
Well, with the speech, I'm still doing a deception check.
You can make a deception check. At this point, though, it will be at disadvantage, as they already are kind of like they're already on the fences.
All right.
That's all right.
God damn.
It seems like, well, at least you're getting the rolls out now. It seems like those ogres are not going to be swayed for the time being.
I should call in the middle of my sentence.
Yeah,
by accident.
It even kind of adds to the legitimacy. It's just distracting. And so then we go to this ogre here, having seen Karini just stand up a moment ago, is going to attempt to swing on her and maybe bring our companion back down to size. They are going to manage to hit. Let's see. Karini's got 10 health right now, I think. Ooh, Karini, you're going to have 2 health as you get hit for 8. Less than half of what these things are capable of at max, but you get lucky for the time being. It's going to keep you on your feet, and that's going to be the ogre's turn as we go now to Gale Warcrier. Gale, having a little bit of a more strategic view of everything that's going on here, what would you like to do?
So first I'm going to scream and run and close the distance by about half.
Okay. Got it.
Like that. And then I'm going to fire my bow again at the one with the magic greatsword.
All right. Go for it. Unfortunately, it is not flanked yet, so you won't have advantage. But likely that will end soon, I imagine. 11! Again. The group is, like, not having very good luck right now, I have to say.
Okay. So next, as I'm doing that, I'm also challenging that. I'm going to try to intimidate them into coming to me.
All right,
Coming
go
in.
ahead. Roll and intimidate as you issue forth your challenge. All right. So it seems like the one with the greatsword is going to have a little bit too much on its mind as it's currently being attacked by 3 individuals at once. But you are going to see that you seem to gain the attention of the one that is closest to you, as it is now going to swivel and definitely accepting this challenge from the puny half-orc. It is going to have a renewed interest in perhaps trying to smash you or one of your body doubles. So that's your bonus action. That is your attack, and your some of your movement. Is there anything else for your turn, Gale?
Nope, that's it. I'm going to stand my ground and bare my teeth.
All right.
Big ones.
From there, we go to Karini, our brave paladin and the backbone of this group right now. I say that because she's the only one that can heal. Karini, what would you like to do with your turn? You have 2 HP.
Just a second. Definitely using lay on hands. I'm just trying to figure out how much I want to use.
Sure.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure I clarified. I'm going to use 19 of my lay on hands pool for myself.
Okay, thank you very much. Your connection to the goddess Avari is going to open through your mind's eye, and you will feel her radiance begin to gather in from the natural world around you, flowing through you and mending the cuts and wounds across your body like an expert weaver mending the stitches and burrs in a tapestry to restore its glory. And as you complete your communion, you will feel once again the strength necessary to continue this battle. Anything for your turn past that, Karini?
I don't want to burn any of my other spells because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to save a few of them. And the bonus ones aren't really that good, so yeah, I'm going to be good for now.
All right. That's the end of your turn. We then go to top of the order, which will, for those of you who are familiar with the patterning of this, bring us to a convenient place to stop for the 2-hour break. Not that the break is 2 hours, but every 2 hours, about at the halfway point through the session in the evening, I like to give myself and the players and everybody watching 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the max to eat, grab water, use the restrooms, otherwise refresh, and perhaps discuss tactics. Breathe into a paper bag rapidly and, tell it your anxieties and your secrets to try and, figure out a way to face the challenges in front of you without panicking. Whatever it is that really gets you through your day. But we will be joining our companions again here in about 10 minutes. It's just important in the meantime for anybody who's out there watching, A, thank you, but B, if you are just now joining us, know that this is not just a game of Dungeons and Dragons, but a competition in which these players have to face potentially real death and as well have real precious stones and cash on the line for them to win should they be successful in their quest. As well, we are also helping to fundraise for rotating community charities. This month, we are helping out the charity Heads Up Guys, which helps spread awareness and create resources for men suffering and struggling with depression. So we are glad to have our adventurers here helping to raise money for these charitable causes. And it's also important to remind everyone we got our first official sponsor as of yesterday. Kronos Games and Gifts is going to be helping us out with supplying some additional prizes that we will be giving away or will be available for players to win in-game as they compete through the world. So that will be fun in the coming weeks. I'll have some prizes that I'll announce. I'll likely start with dice and perhaps some game books. We'll see exactly what the popular demand on the server is. Other than that, I have only one question to ask before we hit the break and get right back to this potentially lethal action, as we are not out of the woods yet. A couple bad or good rolls could see this party die, as they are all, I think, one critical blow away from being knocked flat, with maybe the exception of Inel and Gale. But without their massive team of frontline damage and health to soak up the ire of these ogres, neither Gale nor Inel is likely to have what it takes to seal the deal. So, until next time, I will see you in a minute. Hello. If you're watching this, it means you're not joining us live at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sundays or Tuesdays, when you could be a part of the action as a fan or a contestant, being influenced by the fans who might be lying to you at any moment or trying to steward you towards the right answer. Who would you trust? Who would you otherwise ignore? And what actions would you take when there's money on the line and there's death at the door and your companions are dying around you? You've got only a few spells left and precious hit points. What do? You might think that you know the answer, but you'll never know until you're actually a contestant. So join us. Fill out a free anonymous application at the link below this video, or check us out live at the Twitch channel below this video. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Live once again. Thank you, everybody. As I reach for the hood of my cloak, and let us get this underway. Last we joined our companions, they had been in the middle of a life and death conflict with only a handful of ogres that were marauding, patrolling, tax collecting by their coin of phrase, no pun intended there, somewhere along this route or nearby, while our players happened to get the drop on them thanks to the wizard's rope trick, allowing them to occupy an extra dimensional area up above the road and then drop down upon their leader. Had they not been able to get this surprise round and had to approach them from afar, their fates might have been significantly different. proving extremely unlucky so far as their attacks are concerned. Luckily, too, their enemies have also had a fair amount of bad luck. After a couple rounds of mostly missing each other and tagging only the air, our companions and the ogres themselves find themselves in a tense standoff as one of their leaders is dead, but meanwhile the party has been substantially weakened and multiple members of it could go down with but 1 or 2 successful attacks from these ogres. So it seems yet still the savage beasts are dedicated to remaining and fighting here to the last, at least for the time being. In the last round, their captain managed to pull a vaulting maneuver over the party members and scoop up the electrified greatsword of the ogre magi that had just been slain moments ago, after having shattered their own weapon on the cobblestones of this path. Without further ado, though, I'm going to get right back into this with top of the order. I believe one Bakrun Growl. Would you like to get us going?
Absolutely. I strike this guy with my longsword. The big guy.
No.
All right.
Again.
You certainly strike at this big guy with your longsword, but while you've had a couple of successful attacks up until now, this is going to represent a break in your luck. Trying once again to lance into this person with a piercing blow, they will have learned this trick from watching you more or less gut their magi companion and now bring the great sword down mightily to threaten you to the point that you're forced to withdraw lest you lose your head in the attack. So, Bakrun, that's your first attack. Anything else for your turn?
Nope, that'll be it.
Okay. Then from there, we will be going over to your companion, Yane, who is very similar in appearance, but very different in personality and tactics, currently swinging wildly and not acting defensively at all. Yane, our frenzied barbarian, what can I expect of you this turn?
Well, I mean, I'm just going to say this right now. It's going to get even worse on the defensive side, as I am going to reckless attack this guy.
Oh, yeah. It's not an attack unless it's reckless, in my opinion. Go ahead and give me those mighty swings. Ooh, and of course you didn't even need it. So that is going to be a successful attack with that greatsword. Go ahead and roll damage as you dig into the side of this ogre, and you can feel its flesh give way and bones crack under the strength of your blow. Pulling it free, however, you're horrified to watch as the ogre's muscles are powerful enough to almost seize up and staunch the flow of the blood just by sheer contraction of it alone. That is your 7 damage. Are you going to do anything else for your turn currently, Yane?
I believe my rage damage also applies. Does it apply to the initial roll, or do I have to just individually add it?
You'll have to add it to whatever your first attack for that round is.
Okay, so then it'd actually be 9.
All right, 9 damage. Thank you very much. So 9 damage. I'm going to mark that off of the health of this creature, as it seems just a glutton for punishment, not having actually taken that much so far either. The damage from the greatsword is just going to see it cock back now its own arms and get ready for a swing in return. From there, Yane... Oh, yeah.
Frenzy attack?
Yeah, I was gonna have frenzy attack on my...
Please, sorry, go for it.
Well, when he's about to do that, I'm like, nope. Another reckless attack.
Got another one. And that 16 is enough to break the colossal creature's AC, breaking through the patchwork of rough plates and thick calloused hide for another 7 damage. This one your rage damage won't apply to because it's not the first attack of the round. And so that's just going to be a flat 7 to the 9, so 16 total. Not bad. Yane, not to cut you off early again, did you want to move or do anything else with your turn?
No, yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Then from there, we pass it on to the ogre. This one having moments ago been challenged by Gale Warcrier, the warlock, and having rolled exceptionally low on its ability to kind of stay focused in combat despite the many possible distractions, it is going to take the bait and begin charging over at Gale. Of course, Yane, this will provide you with an attack of opportunity.
Sick.
Ooh. And that might represent the turning point, folks, as it seems like I spoke too soon in regards to low rolls, and our companions are managing to maybe turn the tide of this. That 8 slashing damage is going to represent you now coming down across the ogre's face, kind of tearing at the flesh of some of its collar and neck, but it not being a deep gouge. It's going to snarl in response to the blow, but still keep moving. And this ogre is now going to swing at Gale. Gale, go ahead and roll for your last of your mirror images to see if it hits one of those or you. All right, it looks like it will be on you. However, the creature, because of your mage armor, is going to come very close, but not quite able to hit you, as you'll see its crude club weapon now almost collide with your shoulder and head, but at the last moment, a thin lattice work of purple arcane energy will sort of snap into place, crystallizing and deflecting the blow, causing it to glance to the ground as you scoot out from underneath the deadly momentum of this weapon. That is that creature's single attack, and now we get to the more interesting one. As much as our companion's success may be doing quite a bit to change their situation, this ogre's success or failure in the next 2 attacks could do everything to determine their viability. Alright, now most concerned at this point with the barbarian. It looks like they're going to be able to hit.
That's the one on the far right, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's outside my range.
So that means that, and also having advantage from the reckless attacks having been made, this ogre is going to be able to connect with both of its strikes. So, one moment, I need to roll a couple of things here. You're going to... So from the physical damage, after your damage reduction, you're going to take only a total of 7. But then on top of that, you're going to take an additional 4 lightning damage, which means that you're going to take a total of 11 damage, Yane.
Cool. I would be down, but since I'm half orc, I can bring it. I can like come back to just 1 hit point, right?
Yep. With your relentless endurance. I think I said savage endurance at the beginning of this. I could not find my words during the introduction to this stream tonight. But that is going to allow you to go down and momentarily almost collapse, but then by the grit of your teeth and the narrowing of your eyes, your half-orc heritage is going to dump adrenaline into your veins, and you find yourself rising again almost supernaturally by the observance of those around you. How could one man lose so much blood and still be standing? That is going to bring a close to that. Sorry, that was just the first attack, actually. So the second attack, Yane, is going to drop you again. Sorry. Now, that is going to necessitate a death saving throw as you go down. Ooh, critical failure. That is 2 automatic failures. 1 more and you will die permanently.
Why must you forsake me, dice?
And that means that we go now from the ogre captain to Inel Nasera. Inel, perched safely up in your extra dimensional little barricade. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna think about all the spells that I use and say, all right, let's go back to the basic and cast Fire Bolt on the big one.
Okay, got it. Go ahead and roll your attack. That is gonna hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Okay, 2. You're going to manage to catch the creature by surprise, but because of the aforementioned, like, massive mane of hair that it has that is, like, both knotted and twisted and so, like, thick coming from both its head and its collar and its shoulders, a lot of that firebolt is going to seem to kind of just, like, burn off its hair and leave, at the end of it, only a small scar on the creature's actual skin. Inel, that is your action. Is there anything you'd like to do for your bonus or your movement?
Does it seem like he's taking more damage like the blue one, or is just normal?
You'd have to give me an insight for that in order to kind of use your wisdom to assess the situation accurately.
Sure.
And that would be your bonus action. All right, with a 12 insight, it seems like the blue one, while being a bit heavier set and like more rotund, this one seems to have, almost like your companion, this fervor for combat and bloodshed that is imbuing it with what you would reckon is likely more toughness and more vitality than the Magi companion of its that is standing right next to it. And with that 12, it's also enough to just tell you in summary that so far you and your companions have done similar but not quite the same amount of damage to that creature yet. So whether or not it will actually take more to kill it, you're not quite sure. It's a rough gambit. You can tell just by looking at it that it's got a fair ways to go, but you and your companions have definitely done a lot to it. If you had to ballpark it, you'd say it's probably around half health, maybe under, maybe over. It's hard to say. So Inel, that insight and your assessment, that's your bonus action. Your action's been taken, and I don't think you're moving.
I'm not.
Okay. From there, we pass it on to one of the other ogres. This one is going to be swinging now, still on Karini, but is going to have flanking due to the fact that his companion has reached the other side. So, Karini, that is going to be, due to the advantage of the flanking, a successful hit. So, that is going to be enough to drop you.
From 21?
Oh, sorry. Right, you lay on hands. I got
oh my
way
gosh.
too confident. This is what breaks do to you. This is no. You're going to take. It's going to be 11 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
heart
Oh,
dropped
I'm
for a
sorry, but I
second.
didn't mean to scare you like that. I mean, they can do high teens if they max out their damage, but they can't hit 20. So that is going to be enough to at least put the fear back into you for that ogre's turn, and then we go back to Gale Warcrier. Gale, your combination of mirror image and your body doubles has seen you, I think so far, take almost no damage outside of the cold that you were subjugated to at the early part of this battle. The ogre, though, is pressing down on you, and it is a matter of time before it gets lucky and catches you in one of its wide, sweeping, clubbing arcs. It is your turn. What would you like to do?
So I'm going to growl at it as it misses me with its last swing, and I'm going to hit it with an Eldritch Blast.
All right, go ahead and give me that Eldritch Blast roll as you summon into your hand a dark red, almost like blackish purple current of eldritch energy from beyond the realms of the abyss and the high heavens. That energy is going to spike into the beast at a 16 successfully. Go ahead and roll damage. 4 force damage. You are going to hold your hand forward, and as the creature charges, it's going to then meet this sort of stunning blast and recoil for a second, obviously having to rethink its strategy as it now has a scar running up the inside of its chest. Gale, that's your attack, or at least, sorry, that's your action. Anything else for your turn so far?
And a move.
All right, and a move. It is going to get an attack of opportunity at this point.
Fair enough.
Go ahead and roll a d20 to see whether or not this attack is going towards one of your clones or whether or not it's going towards you. I'm going to zoom the camera out so people can see Gale having shifted down there. All right, 13. That is going to be enough that it is going to go against one of your last remaining body double, and it's a good one too. It would have been able to beat your mage armor otherwise, so you're going to watch as this thing tries to, with both hands, really put an end to this slippery orc warlock and smash down into the ground, to find that it is just another illusion that dissipates into so many fragments of light and smoke, and he's just gonna cry out, "Ah, magic!" And so frustrated by the thing he will never understand. Gale, I think that's gonna be the end of your turn.
And then I'll be done.
Well, sorry, what was that?
I'm jeering at him one more time.
Jeering. Heard. Jeering accomplished. And then we go to Karini. Karini Selkadora, you're in the mix of it, having a bit more health to work with now, but still a delicate situation on your hands. How are you going to manage the team?
If I provoke an attack of opportunity while flanked, does that apply to that opportunity of attack since I'm like moving away from the flank?
Yes, because the opportunity attack occurs while you're still in that threatened range.
Okay, give me just a second. Gotta check something. Okay, I'm casting Bane on all 3 of them. They need to make a charisma saving throw against the 14 DC.
Ooh, likely to not do so well against that. That is 1 failure on behalf of the one currently threatening you. That is a success by way of a natural 20 by the Ogre Captain. And then I rolled an 18 on the dice for this last one. It looks like only this one is going to be successfully baned. I will give it a sad face and a skull and crossbones. So that one is going to be baned. Karini?
That's all I can really do at the moment.
All right.
That's a full action.
Do you want to spend your movement in any way, or are you remaining still?
I'm not going to provoke the opportunity attack at the moment.
All right, then we go over to Bakrun Growl at the top of the order. Bakrun, it is your turn. Things are going from bad to worse. Your companion is down and maybe bleeding out over here as your paladin friend to your right is getting mercilessly pummeled by both sides. Can you bring the damage necessary to end this fight? We shall see. Bakrun?
Yeah, I'll provoke from the guy that's baned and move to flank this guy here.
All right, you are going to find that Bane is successful in denying that ogre its attack of opportunity, and it is not going to be able to hit you as you slide away.
And then I will strike with advantage the big guy.
All right.
That'll hit.
That will hit.
And I will once again distracting blow him.
Okay, 7 damage. Let's see what that superiority looks like. Okay, that's 10. That is going to kind of in your mind as you watch the blade twist really be the line between this thing's confidence to now it looking kind of fatigued, the blood loss starting to mount, the magical assault from the heavens really doing a lot to demoralize its sense of fairness. This creature is starting to show the telltale signs of something that is wearing thin on its energy and health. Bakran, that is your turn with your movement, unless there's anything else you'd like to do.
Nope, that's it for me.
Okay, I had a feeling. From there, after Bakran, we go to Yane. Yane?
Nat 20, baby!
That is 2 successes. That means that Yane is now equally poised between life and death itself. A fragile margin separates this half-orc from the ability to once again stand back up and be maintained perhaps by the sheer rage that boils in its heart, or succumb to death here on the windswept cliffs high above the farmlands of southern Hope's Rise.
Sorry to interrupt. I thought that Natural 20 put you on 1 HP.
Yeah.
Does it?
Succeed, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Let me double check. You're absolutely right. It does put you on 1 HP.
Yes!
Great roll. Fantastic roll.
Fantastic roll. I may amend that rule in the future, but I haven't had to deal with that for the time being. So you are actually up. I take that back.
Karini will call out over here.
Just like...
All right, that is going to happen at the end of your turn, however, as that's sort of when death saving throws occur. So that means that while you will start back to life with your full countenance and faculties, you are not going to have any of your action economy available, Yane. Consider your turn the act of resurrection itself. Not necessarily a bad one. All right. Now, this half-orc has this ogre has an interesting quandary. It is going to not... Oh, let me take a look at this. Yeah, okay. It has the movement. It is going to swing wide around our companion Bakran and chase down now here to the south after Gale, having been denied the satisfaction of smashing this half-orc, and is going to swing once more. Now, not cloaked in illusion, but still guarded by the protective field of mage armor. That is going to hit, however, as it rolls decently high enough. It looks like Bakran, it will have its satisfaction, and you, oh my god, that is going to be almost max damage. Bakran, you are going to take a total of, that is 14. And that is the end of the ogre's turn, as we now go to the ogre captain, who is now trapped between a few different fighters here, seeing that Karini is likely the most liable to go down, but everyone is at low health here. It's just going to roll. It's going to roll. Who is it attack? Okay, it is attacking Karini. Karini, you are going to get swung on the first. Okay, but it has advantage. Even with advantage, it is not going to be able to hit you with its first attack, but the ogre captain has 2 attacks. So it's still going to swing again with advantage. And that advantage is going to, on the final of 4 die rolls, manage to get this ogre an attack off at you, which is... Alright, that's going to be only 9 damage, Karini, but I think that's enough.
I'm alive.
You're at 5?
I'm alive. I'm up. Nope, I'm alive.
Karini is
I got
still
1 HP.
up. Woo! Alright.
We refuse to die!
Which ogre hit me for 14? Is it the one by Gale that ran
I think
away?
you meant the one at Gale, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Gale hit... Gale got hit for 14.
Okay, so I didn't get hit for 14.
No. Yeah, you
That's how you
for the
said
moment are fine.
I got for 14.
Yes.
Yeah.
That puts me at 0 then.
Exactly 0.
Which, yes, and so I'm going to use that ability to be at 1.
All right. Relentless
Yeah.
Endurance engaged as Gale also manages to stand. Man, if it were not for the half-orc heritage of this party, they may not be able to even stand a chance against these ogres, but it is doing the trick. So that is going to be the end of the captain's turns. Karini's still up, miraculously. And that is going to leave us over to Inel now. Inel, you are looking down on the scene below. Things are...
Gale wants to talk.
Do I get a reaction?
Yeah,
With my-
you can always use a reaction. I'm sorry,
Should
I
I-
thought you heard, I thought the silence was just the fact that you were still up from the 14. I didn't realize you hadn't heard. So yeah, if you'd like to use a reaction in response to getting hit, you're totally welcome to.
Yes, indeed, my hellish rebuke.
Go
Nah.
for it. All right. I had a feeling that that's where you were leading to. Sorry, Inel. I will get right to you. We got to resolve this hellish rebuke. I would normally hold someone to getting it done like at the time that it happens, but clearly you didn't hear me, so it's this is totally fine. It is going to... It looks like it is going to fail. Its dexterity saving throw massively, almost critically. And so that is going to burn a higher level spell slot, but also do a total of 22 damage to this creature. Oof. As you watch this thing become ensconced in flame, as you whisper abyssal curses to it that seem to almost weave into life and manifest in the air, settling onto the creature and causing its skin to ignite and burst into flame. It howls out in pain as you begin to be able to smell its cooking flesh. So that's its turn. And then, sorry, Inel, to get back to you, now that the Warlock has had a chance to properly vent its ire, you're up. What would you like to do?
I'm just checking a spell 1 minute. Up, right.
Sure.
Same thing. I'll go with the Firebolt again.
Firebolt.
On the big one.
On which one? The leader?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll. At this point, you will have advantage because it is being flanked.
Sure.
That hits.
Yeah.
8 damage. Okay, this creature's situation is going from bad to worse as you see the patch of hair that you had burnt off before makes an almost wonderful circular shaped target now with a bullseye in the center, and you aim for that, managing to now turn the small scar before into a large caustic blistering wound, and the ogre captain cries out once more. Inel, that's your action. You've got your bonus and your movement available. Anything for that?
I'm just gonna cry. Just die already! With my primordial accent.
All right. Then that is going to move it from there to the ogre that threatens Karini, and it has still advantage as it swings on her. Ooh.
With Bane. Bane on it, though, right?
It does have Bane on it. And this is going to... One second. So it rolled a natural 1, but its advantage is going to manage to get that over to the other die. But that other die, after the Bane has been rolled, is shy by 1. The ogre's attack does nothing.
Thank you, Mother Advari.
That means that we go now to Gale Warcrier. Gale down here, having done colossal damage to this ogre that is attacking you. It is looking rough. What would you like to do?
I would like to hit it with Eldritch Blast again. Wait, first I have a question.
What's up?
Which of the ogres did the cold damage?
The now dead blue one.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to hit this one that's standing in front of me with the Eldritch Blast again.
Okay. Go for it.
Big rolls, big rolls.
Big rolls. That's big enough. Those are some dinner rolls. Go ahead. 10 damage. Whew, okay, this thing is hanging on by a thread now. As you can see, the magic seems to go directly through its leathery exterior and pierce down to the flesh and bone with an efficacy that the steel maybe does not. And this creature is looking disastrously low on health, now bleeding openly from this massive, almost like craterous wound in the center of its chest. Gale, that is your action. You've got your bonus and your movement left. Anything else?
I will stand my ground.
Okay, you got it. Remaining stalwart against the ogre's attack, Gale is going to remain confident that he can finish it. While we go now to the end of the order, Karini, you have done a lot to tan in the blaze, so to speak, as you deal with this assault from both sides. What would you like to do?
So since I assume the ogres are large creatures, he's occupying that 5-foot square right above me, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I can move.
That does
So
not
I
provoke
can
an
move
attack
there.
of opportunity, no.
So I'll make sure.
As,
So
yeah,
I'm
that
gonna move
remains in
there.
both of their area of attack.
Stand next to my half-orc friend here, and I'm going to cure wounds myself.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for that. This is close. This is very close. That...
I'm clicking cure wounds. I'm not sure why it's doing Hunter's Mark. So I'm just going to roll the D8.
Yeah. Go for it.
And that's +4 with my charisma modifier.
Nicely done. That's 12 HP and might be the difference between life and death there. That critical health, man, it matters. Every point. So that's a 5-foot adjustment. You've used your action to heal. Is there anything with your bonus, or is that it?
That's going to be it.
Okay, then from there we go to Bakrun Growl. Bakrun, you are striking at the flank of this ogre captain, just wearing away, hacking at this thing as if trying to carve down a great oak with the sword in hand. But go for it. Let's see what you can do.
Slide over so that I flank with my barbarian brother, and
Okay.
I will strike him, and he will deflect it.
That is not going to be enough, unfortunately. Even with advantage, this creature is now beginning to kind of savagely flail back and forth, knocking aside attacks to get any attempts to get inside of its guard, and you are not going to be able to find purchase. That is a little bit of your movement and your action. Anything else, Bakran?
Nope.
All right. From there, we go to Yane. Yane now standing, and you see as Karini is over you, guarding you while you get back to your feet, shield in hand, basically constantly lashing back at this ogre's attacks should it take even a step out of line. You see the both nobility and prowess of your companion on display, and you feel as if you must do something about it. What is that thing that you are going to do?
Well, I think we all know what Yane's gonna do, and that is to smack him.
All right. Yane's going to give him that old smack-a-lack. You are, of course, flanking, so this will be with advantage.
I believe I am not flanking.
Yeah, you are. Once a creature has become flanked, attacks on it take advantage of that flank.
Oh, okay. Yep, sorry.
Should it lose flank status, you will...
I'm dumb.
That's fine, but yeah, no. It's... It's slightly different than the old mechanics because it used to only matter if you were flanking it, not if it was quote unquote flanked. But it also, you were able to flank something by simply like being on like a 25-degree shift, like to one direction more or less. So the rules are slightly different than they used to be, but that 17 or the 16 would have been enough to hit it. So go ahead and swing with that greatsword.
Another 7. What? 9, and then I'm gonna attack again with my bonus action.
Do you not need to be in your raged state in order to make that second attack?
Oh wait, no, I do. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say because it's a bonus action to rage, but frenzying is a free part of that. But you have to be raged to use your bonus action
True.
as the second attack. Okay. Well, so if your action's out of the way, you've got your bonus and your move left. Anything you want to do?
It doesn't seem like there's anything left to do. Sorry, what?
Raise again, maybe?
I guess. Yeah, no. Heck. Let's do it again.
All right, raging again for the bonus, and if you're going to remain stationary for the time being, which, I mean, I don't blame you for, Yane, that's going to pass it over to your adversary down here, who is currently threatening to try and attack Gale. It has come down to basically a mano-a-mano fight in which the first successful attack is likely to down the other one. We will see now, as it looks like Gale is going to be safe for the time being. The ogre rolling a 3 on the dice, and with its bonuses, that is not going to be enough. That passes it now over to the captain. The captain has problem here. He is going to now swing and turn his attention to the fighter, more concerned with them and the attacks that they are bringing to bear against them down there. That first attack is going to miss. Second attack is good for it, though, as that fighter, Bakrun, you are going to take that is going to be 16 damage once the electricity has been stacked on top, at damn near max, as that greatsword with the ogre's final act of that turn plunging down into you, and this electric jolt surging through your body, causing you to convulse. As the blade rips free, you see your own blood spout up into the air, and you try not to just gulp.
I go to 2.
Oh, that is not enough, huh? That is then going to pass us over to Inel. Inel, you are...
How's the big one looking?
The big one is looking ragged. All of them except really this one here are looking pretty good. This one, obviously under the influence of Bane, it is a little uncoordinated and kind of like vexed right now by these like glimmering lights and shadows that kind of ensconce its body and its vision. But at the one that is fighting Gale down below is disastrously low. So you've got kind of a Goldilocks situation going on here. You've got like high health, like low, medium, and extremely low. What would you like to do?
I have a question. If I go there and cast Burning Hands, would I get an angle to not hit my friends since they are large?
Hold on, let me take a measurement there. Bum, bum, bum. So you would need to get specifically, I would say, right here in order to do it, but dropping down out of the 10-foot and then running over there, you've got enough movement to get that accomplished.
Is the thing, give me like 1 second just to get my bearing. It's really stressful. Yeah, I do it. I drop down and go there and take my hand and cast Burning Hand as I say, this is my retribution. And I cast Burning Hands on those two.
All right, go ahead and roll your Burning Hands damage.
It's a dex saving throw.
Yep, I've rolled. The one close to you is going to make their save. The one farther from you, the captain, fails. And that is going to be enough to kill the captain. However, that is not going to be enough, even by a fair margin, to slay the one that is closest to you, Inel. And that one, even though you unleash this blast of fire right at its waist, it almost like a street post or something seems to part the flame around it while you watch as the flesh in the ogre's stomach begins to kind of cook and singe, and it looks down almost curiously, not quite sure what you were hoping to accomplish, while the other one somehow gets the edge of the flame where the heat is most intense and manages to, at the very last moment, turn into the blaze, and its eyes boil out of their sockets, and it screams, now blind with rage, and stumbling around, it drops down to the ground, having inhaled the fumes of your burning hands and having exploded its own lungs.
My burst to say, run to the one in front of me.
All right. You can attempt and intimidate if you'd like. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, with that, since I killed this boss, does it give me advantage or?
It would if the party was in better shape right now, but everyone's basically one attack from going down. With the exception of you, obviously. So this thing is going to be basically on a neutral ground with that. Go ahead and give me the regular... Oh!
Sorry, I rolled with advantage.
Yeah, I
sorry.
saw there. So I'm going to take the 4, though. So
Yeah.
that is not going to be enough to startle this creature, as it is looking at all of the potential loot that you have on you, as well as its companions, and the come-up that it might pose should it manage to stay here and best you. I'm going to then, Inel, that's your movement, that's your bonus, that's your action. It looks like from there we are passing it on to the ogre that you just hit, which now poses a very interesting tactical question, because it's smarter for this thing to bash. Yeah, okay, it is going to attempt to attack Karini and put her out of her misery. That roll I just made was a decision roll, not the attack roll. This is the attack roll. Karini, that...
Bane.
What were you gonna say?
The Bane, don't forget.
Oh yeah, no, I've got that. This attack is, even with the Bane, going to be successful. I had a feeling it would. It was pretty high.
Cure wounds, though.
Sorry?
I said my cure wounds, though. It's going to save me.
Yeah, it very well might. So this attack is going in, and it does not have that extra, 1-2 of the electricity. So you're... Oh my god, that is too funny. You're going to take 9 damage.
Nice.
So you are going to be okay then, I think. Oh no, that's not as close as I thought, because you also get that +4. So yeah, you've got a few. You're sparing a little bit left. That is going to be that creature's turn, as we now get down to Gale Warcrier, who might be putting the definitive blow into this combat. If this ogre goes down, then at 18 hits, Gale, roll that Eldritch Blast.
You go, Gale!
Let's go, Gale.
All right, that 6 damage is going to be enough to destroy that ogre as you see your Eldritch Blast this time now just reach into the creature, penetrating through its exposed flesh of the wound in its chest and literally striking it in the heart. It seizes up and kind of tweaks around for a moment before then dropping to the ground, still and smoldering. Having slain that ogre, congratulations, there is now only one left on the battlefield, but the thing has a bit of health, and these things are not exactly skittish, so it could still take a number of you out. From there...
With that, I'd like to move still.
Okay, yep. Yeah, I was going to say, you've got your bonus left as well, if there's anything you'd like to do with that. All right.
Right there.
You got it, Gale. And if you're not going to use your bonus for anything, that passes it to Karina.
All right, I'm gonna move up here,
All right.
and I'm just gonna like say to him in giant, "That hurt," and then I'm gonna smack him with my warhammer.
All right, go for
Am I
it.
flanking?
Yeah, I'm
also-
flanking right.
I'm going to need you to make a concentration check for that Bane, I just realized as well.
Oh yeah, okay. Let me just say.
All right. Let's see what you can do here. All right, so your Bane is going to stay active. And if you attack, you will be flanking. And the flanking is going to make the difference as that 21 breaks the creature's AC. Your Warhammer managing to crush into its lower back, dislocating one of its bones. You can hear the creature cry out in pain as there's an almost sickening crunch, and you know that that's going to be permanent damage. It's never going to be able to move things around the same. Karini, that's your attack. Anything else for your turn?
That's all I got.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I actually move still?
Yeah, please.
I'm going to. Which tile is the wizard on exactly, or is it just like right in the middle of the floor there?
All right. The
Right there. Okay.
yeah. He's on that one exactly.
So that was 5, and I have 30 feet of movement. I can move around it without provoking opportunity, correct?
Yes, you could move around it so long as you do not get outside of its threat range.
Okay, I'm gonna move next to the wizard.
All right. Got it.
Like that.
Sorry for keeping you waiting.
I saw you doing work from up there. Good job.
From there, we go to Bakrun. Bakrun, it is your turn. You watch as if by just total surprise, your clawed and beaked wizard friend drops through the portal, runs over here, and manages to arc flames into the face and mouth of that ogre, killing it almost instantly as it is now just like lying in front of you, its mouth open and sort of like the burnt socket of its eyes and jaws just like hanging there, slack in the cobblestone. It's your turn. What do you want to do?
Despite my wounds, I charge in over the corpse of the fallen, and I will strike him with my longsword.
All right, go for it. That's a 23. That's going to be enough to hit.
All right, and with my last superiority dice, I will once again distractingly hit him so that I get more damage and somebody gets advantage.
You got it. Go ahead, roll both your damage and your superiority. And it's going to be 12. Oof, this thing got a quick lesson in pain as it went from having a fairly decent amount of health now to having been almost 30 damage done to this thing. So that's going to still leave it standing, but now with the distracting strike having basically kneecapped this thing with your shield, you can see it's like trying to suppress a funny bone reaction as it now almost like loses its footing and falls forward. And in that distraction, you've created an opportunity for your companion. Bakran, is that the end of your turn?
It is.
Then we go to Yane. Yane Gorbrook, what are you doing?
Just freshly recovered. I'm gonna freaking just move over here and smack him a bit.
All right, frenzied and raging and full of all of the good things that half orcs like. That great sword, is going to manage to break through the ogre's defenses. Go ahead and roll damage. All right, that plus your initial rage damage is going to be enough to slay the beast, as it now, like, having been worn away at by all 4 adventurers in a turn, has gone from being a healthy warrior to just a pile of flesh and bone on the side of the road, like so many of its past victims. Its fate now ironic that it too should have died, having picked a fight that it was not prepared for. So that is the end of that combat. Congratulations. I'm gonna get the music over to something that's a little less, drums in the ear as we begin to join our companions in the aftermath.
I'm gonna, if you don't mind, since I'm the most LT, I'm gonna start looting.
Same.
All right.
I'll join them.
Likewise.
Everyone's looting. Go ahead and give me investigation checks as you start going over the corpses of these ogres and trying to find Inel with
20.
a nat 20.
Sorry,
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
find
know
their ID.
All right. Inel, with that nat 20, you're going to find a couple of things. And chief among them being the fact that Magi's greatsword is magical. And it is not something that you're going to have to scour the thing to figure out exactly what it is. As with that 26 investigation, you're going to be able to find on the thing what looks to be a level 1 rune of the sky, or the wind, if you will. And that is a fairly common level 1 glyph that is currently available even on the Wikipedia for players to look at, which is why I just named it. It's one of the few that everybody sort of is more familiar with at the start of the game, and thus is likely where its shocking properties came from. Past that, though, you are going to discover a few more things of interest. There is going to be a necklace on the ogre mage that you find. It has these large silver links, almost like the kind of chains that you would use to imprison someone with or haul a great burden. But instead, having been cast out of silver, at their center you see a particularly well-cut sapphire that you can see even in the misty light of Hope's Rise is likely many carats and worth quite a bit. You're not sure if this thing is perhaps magical as well. It bears the craftsmanship that might also suggest that sort of thing, but there's nothing overt and no, like glowing glyphs sitting on the actual, like the pommel of this, like the sword. On top of that, the other notable things, you find no less than 132 gold on the corpse of the ogre magi. There is 50... Sorry, let me double check this. There's 57 gold on the corpse of the ogre captain. there is, I'll just give you the lump sum rather than separating it, sorry. The lump sum of silver that you're looking at is a total of 651. No. God, I can't keep numbers in my head right now. Okay, no, 651. Okay, yeah, that's right. And then on top of that, the copper that you're going to pull back from this is going to be 2,200 copper pieces, spilling out from burlap and linen sacks on the backs of the younger ogres that had been used to carry this. Copper coins are just going to basically run into the cobblestone and the grooves of the rock around you once you start opening these bags, realizing that these would-be tax collectors had probably had a very lucrative day or had been at this for some time. On top of that, you're going to find the ogre's crude clubs. The captain was using basically a club that also had like a blade on one side. It was kind of...
Sorry, how many copper?
Sorry, what?
How many copper pieces?
2,200.
What?
Like a lot of copper. And
gold. I just understand the silver.
so that is going to... Sorry, are you asking me to the gold again?
Yes.
The gold again, look at this, was a total off of the Magi, I believe 120... Sorry. Magi is a total of 122, while the captain was a total of 57.
So 179.
And then on top of that, you find a number of what are likely having been pillaged from like other would-be travelers or like just guards, mercenaries, anyone along the road, really. There are 2 long swords, a mace, a set of leather armor, and also a set of hide armor, all stuffed into a sack on the back of the ogre captain. And the Magi's armor is effectively enough metal to create a human set of half plate. However, it's would have to be resized or refitted or reworked by a smith, as currently it is too large and too bulky for anyone in the party to wear effectively.
Sure.
Everybody's got that somewhere, I assume, in now, since you're discovering most of it.
2 long sword, 1 maces, 1 leather armor, 1 enough metal for a half plate.
Yep. Then, in addition to that, there are also small items kind of across the ogres in terms of there are some rations that look like just sort of roughly prepared, like smoked and cooked meat in the back of their in their bags, as well as it seems like some like really rough stitched together chunks of hide and linen that would probably be like traveling blankets or makeshift cloaks for these giant creatures. Most of it has been soaked by a combination of morning dew and having been out in the elements, to the point that there's this kind of like faint stench of just mildew and mold coming off of like all of the cloth around it, though, so it seems fairly unappealing. And let me double check my notes here, make sure I got everything. Great sword, blah, 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 blah. Money, rations. Yeah, that's it. That's everything. The only other thing with that 20 investigation that you'll notice is not actually an item, but instead on the ogre magi's throat, Inel, you're going to notice that it seems like there has been arcana carved in to the ogre's like soft tissue on the underside of the jaw and over his Adam's apple, and it has been scarred over in an elaborate and complex pattern of what you think to be perhaps spell work.
I'm gonna transcribe that in my book, just to
Okay.
be sure.
Got it.
And how many ration can I make with their big rations?
With their big rations, if you would like to like tear it down and like break the meat down, there's enough there to effectively make about 30 rations.
I'm keeping that though.
Okay, go for it. It's not the prettiest and it doesn't smell the best, but it will definitely feed you and sustain you in a pinch.
I have a bird beak. I don't care.
All right. It's funny. That's the second large and almost deadly battle that the companions have faced on this cliffside that have brought them, at the end of it, the presence of some much-needed gold and magic items. As the Mist Drake itself also ended in a similar fashion, with almost everyone dying, but at the last moment, the players managing to pull the success out from the jaws of defeat and be handsomely rewarded for it. But if there's nothing else you'd like to do at the time,
I'm gonna give the sword to Yane, actually.
Oh, thank you.
If you just could retell the. It was a minor, a level 1 rune of wind with a +1 greatsword, right?
Yep.
Take that down in your inventory. And I think we'll take a short rest and go back home to deposit all of this, because I'm making a base now.
All right. How does everyone feel about Inel's return strategy to perhaps start collecting some interest on all of this acquired wealth?
Are we not too far away there?
You are approximately 2 encounter rolls away from Fog Iron Landing, though I think your companions would likely insist on sleeping before they got there, which would bring it to a total of 3.
So, but to go back to Hope's Rise, we're only 1 away?
You're only 1 away. And, I mean, you're already kind of on the outskirts of the city itself. You could get back to, say, I mean, an inn or, a number of other places without actually having an encounter roll. Getting back to the town square itself would trigger one, but, like, you could make it to the Mumbling Mage even without suffering an encounter roll.
That's what I think we should do. Let's go to the closest place, let's rest up, and then continue our journey south.
I think we should rest, go back home, and after that, go to the trolls. The trolls can wait. I think it's just some villager dying. That's not my problem. My friend and compatriot dying and not getting money to be in a good spot like us, that's my problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's
And rest.
short rest here. We'll head to the Mumbling Mage, spend the night, and then we'll go back to town and see what we might spend our loot on.
Okay.
And Karini will go up to Linnell and just ask if she can take the mace.
Yeah, take it.
Thank you. I'm just gonna look it over, make sure it's just like a standard mace.
Yes, that mace and the other longswords recovered. All of the other, with that Nat 20 investigation, had they been of magical or extraordinary character, I definitely would have noticed. I would have mentioned.
By the way, can I try an Arcana check on the sigil on the throat of the?
Yes,
troll?
you absolutely can. Go for it as well. Everybody, because you're going to be short resting, don't forget to either use any of your abilities or...
Well, that's karma.
All right, that is karma indeed. With that critical failure...
It's pancake. It's pancake. I knew it.
It seems like, Inel, you're going to become very convinced that likely whatever it is that created this spell work is a master magician. Whomever made this is probably one of the greatest mages you've ever seen, as this sort of spell work carved into the very flesh of this ogre is likely so difficult to actually perform and have it like turn out successfully that you're sure that it could only be the work of some sort of very, very powerful spellcaster.
All right. I hope we didn't anger someone with killing this big one. I'm gonna also cast my Arcane Recovery to. It's half my. It's half my level plus my Antidote modifier, right?
All right. You are all going to be able to successfully rest for that hour, and then are you headed back towards the Mumbling Mage? Is that the plan, or are you going back towards the center of town?
A Mumbling Mage, I see.
Everyone?
Yeah, let's head to the mumbling
yeah.
page.
Mage?
Yeah, Mage.
All right, you got it. I just want to get confirmation. That is going to push your overland travel to almost the edge of an encounter roll, but not quite. There we go. As I zoom the stream in, the Mumbling Mage, what was the de facto base of operations for the party during the closed alpha, is one of the most robust and well-traveled inns of Hope's Rise, and on your approach you will find that today is no exception, as there are many individual coming and going from its interior, as well as reclining on the porch outside, celebrating, some others playing simple games and drinking the evening away. When you arrive, it's a little into the afternoon, but not too far, to the extent that most of the people here have just begun the night's revelries. Some people are arriving via wagon out front and beginning to get directed to the like barns and stable facilities south of the main inn. And generally, the scene before you is lively and friendly. The people here take no notice of some blood-stained adventurers arriving covered in like both frozen blue ogre blood, as well as, the intense gore of having then, waded around and sifted through the pockets of the other disgusting creatures. Many of these adventurers here share a similar state, having arrived from the western approach and having had to defend themselves from similar fates. There are a few abound, standing around in their scale mail with their swords slung at their sides, blood still spattered across their armor, as they smile toothily and exchange playing cards.
Hi. I just gonna greet them when they greet me, and turn back to my team and say, all right. We take the biggest chamber with no windows. We eat, but no more. We stay together. We don't do game. We don't party. We stay as a team.
As he said, no windows. I'm gonna just regale him with the story of how we barely got away when those ruffians were attacking us on that road on the way to the Mistrolls. We should get at least one window.
All right, but if someone knocks, don't enter. I don't want to be turned into more of a bird. Please.
All right.
But you look so good.
And
yeah.
a room at
okay.
the inn and food for the night will cost the party approximately 4 gold, as it seems like the inn is booked up for the most part, and in order to get a room, you're going to actually have to pay someone else to leave.
All right, guys, I'm just gonna stick on. All right, guys, thank you. I'm gonna pay this time. Wink, wink. And I check my pockets like I'm searching for money, and I just secretly pick four from multiple pockets to look like I'm low on money, and I just give it 4 gold piece to the barkeep.
All right. With that, the barkeep will make the arrangements, and we'll be trading a few people, basically 2 gold coins to abandon their room for the night, which they will do so gladly, as that does represent a small come up for those who do not have the robust, high-calorie diet of adventuring. And you will see a couple of travelers kind of like wave and say goodbye to you as they head back towards the city center to find another room of some kind, and you will be left to your own countenance. Your room is on the is on the second floor of the building, but the first floor of the actual rooms themselves, and has 3 beds, but and a small common area and a single bathroom. But that's the largest single room that really is possibly available for you. The accommodations are not the best in this one, as it seems like the staff has not had a time to give it the maintenance it needs. A lot of the floorboards are kind of loose and creaky. There's some definite draft here and there. Some of the windows don't seem to fit quite right in their frames, and there's just a general sense of grime, which is not the experience that you remember from the mage in previous sessions, but it seems that they've been very busy recently.
I'm gonna cast prestidigitation everywhere to clean ourselves, and using one of my last spell slots to put an alarm on front of the door.
Okay. Those alarms have to have conditions of some kind. So are you just like anything enters it, basically?
Anyone that it's not in the room and I don't know. Anything that any humanoid that I don't consider my ally, actually.
Okay.
I want to make a quick investigation or perception check with advantage according to my zodiac moon.
Okay.
And I'm looking for in the inn as we're passing through, I'm looking for any magical range weapons, like magical bows and stuff.
Sure. Like somebody who might have one on them, kind of thing.
If I can recognize or identify any magical,
sure,
any just magical weapons
yep,
in general.
Yep. Go ahead and give me an investigation check. You could also give me a perception, but that would be much more difficult given the circumstances. So go ahead and give me an investigate. That'll be with advantage. Oh no. That is a 2 and a 1. Being saved from the natural 1 by the advantage and the roll of the 2. Gale, it seems that while there are a number of bows present here in the inn, despite the ones that you think might possibly be magical, they all just turn out to be either just normal, or the person just doesn't want to let you see them in the first place up close in a way that you might be able to confirm or deny your suspicions. So you're just, after spending a good 45 minutes, an hour milling around, you find that you've kind of burned through all of your leads and a little bit of the room's hospitality.
Frustrated, I go to bed. I'm out.
The dice really hate us.
Oh man. So that is going to, well, is there anything else that the party wants to do before they make their encounter roll for the evening?
I put the money on the floor and say, all right, I want 50 gold to go to the guild. I want 100 silver to go to the guild, and I want all the copper to go to the guild. Is that all right?
Fine by me.
What's happening with the rest of the gold, you said?
The rest is going to all of us, yes.
We should see what it takes to get the half plate converted to fit one of us, and then we should maybe even see about trying to buy a splint to gear us up. would be a better use. Obviously, let's see what we can buy in town. If we just any extra money, obviously it goes to the guild. It's a huge amount, but let's see if we can spend it to gear ourselves up for whatever comes next.
Yeah, plus, even though we give it to the guild, we should be able to access it from the guild, right?
Yeah. Probably.
I
Yeah,
believe
I
by
agree.
the guild, Inel is referring to the operatives present. I don't think
community.
Inel plans on sending the money away anytime soon. More of just clarifying that it will be there for future operatives.
I'm really sorry. It was a emergency.
No worries. So from there, is there anything else the band would like to do before they face their encounter check?
So,
Split the money, I guess.
Yep. And
how much does that leave us?
Let me check that.
This is a lot of math.
129 gold pieces. Get someone noted in our chat, please.
You said 129 a piece.
Yes. 558 silver. And the 2,209 copper pieces will go to the guild. Or we can keep 100 for all of us.
Perfect.
all right.
So how much gold are we splitting amongst the five of us then again?
So that was I said. What Morgan just said in the chat, that's what not going to the guild. So let me
What's
help.
not going to- Okay, so we're dividing that up.
Let me do it.
So I have 129 gold and 558 silver. Is that right?
Seems to be.
Absolutely not. That's
No, we're splitting up.
All right. If you are all comfortable with how that gold is being split, 129 5 ways is almost exactly 25 gold apiece. And you can carve that last gold piece down,
everyone's gonna get 25. I'm getting 24.
All right. So, gold, silver, and the copper's been distributed. If I understand correctly.
Yes.
So, without further ado, not that I have an agenda or anything, but I think there's this thing that happens when you try and sleep or something. It's like a roll that you have to make in order to see what you encounter. All right. 15. Rolling on the other side of that. Let us see what the book contains. That's
Book of Death.
the Book of Death. Also has some pretty, really good encounters in it in terms of, beneficial things that can happen. I mean, people have gotten magic items. There have been fun things.
Okay, the adventure.
All right.
A chest has been thrown through your window, and you now have 3,000 gold.
So, I need to roll again for this subtable. Pardon. That's... is going to lead us to the middle of the night. I'm going to need everyone in the party to give me wisdom saving throws. 9. 12. Natural 20. Well done. 10, and we have one left. 17. Of course, the paladin's gonna pull that one out.
This is charm or an illusion. I would like to use my glyph, like Zodiac Moon sign.
Got it. And in this case, it is effectively a charm, so you can give your one of your companions the ability to re-roll.
Gonna give
I
it
have
to
advantage on saving throw. I have advantage on because of my fate ancestry.
That was NL that has advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have advantage.
Okay,
I'm
then
gonna re-roll.
I'll give it to Morgan then, my sign, so they can re-roll.
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna take the 10.
So then Morgan, go ahead, aka Yane. Give me that re-roll. That re-roll is success.
Yes.
So you take that 10. That means that that's going to be basically Inel and our fighter Bakran are both going to awaken in the middle of the night. And both of you are going to hear a voice in your mind compelling you to bring tribute. You must serve me. Bring me the sapphire necklace in your possession. And you're going to feel this compulsion rise in you to bring that sapphire necklace in question to the edge of the small lake that is out behind the mumbling mage. So, knowing that it would be unwise to alert your companions to your attempts to seize a hold of this necklace, both of you are going to give me basically sleight of hand checks to see if you can successfully steal this necklace, or whether or not you'll get caught by your companions in the process.
Are we doing this at the same time, like going for it?
Not like going for it, but it will sort of emerge as an impulse over the course of the next... Ooh.
Why now?
Oh, why now indeed. So it looks like hesitating and not knowing where to approach, because you know that Inel is the one who has that necklace. You're going to accidentally blurt out and sort of reveal your hand in terms of Bakran, as you demand that Inel gives you that necklace because you must have it. You must have it. And Inel, instead, you are going to, with that sleight of hand, manage to basically convince everyone that it is already missing. As you go to open your pockets and turn everything out and be like, oh, what are you talking about? As it seems with that sleight of hand, no one is going to notice you secreting it onto your person in a much more secure fashion. So that is going to lead to, Inel, you are still compelled to bring this necklace in tribute, but also so is your companion, Bakran.
Can I roll Intimidate to try and get it from him?
You certainly can.
What do I roll? What do I roll against it?
You would basically roll just like a charisma check, saving throw, if you will.
Why did I bring that up last level? Oh, thank God.
All right. So, Inel, that 10 is going to be enough to resist immediately turning it over, though you are going to feel rather threatened by your companion and realize that they could probably end you if they wanted to, as you've watched this half-orc in combat. Now, with that natural 20 and that natural 1 in like succession next to each other, Bakran, you are, after your intimidation, going to be fairly convinced that Inel is scared enough of you that they would turn it over if they had it.
I don't have that. It's gone. Sorry.
Can I roll insight to try to figure out where it's gone? Obviously, Anel doesn't have it, but I need to bring this to somebody.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead and give me an insight check to try and just, if anything, or I would take insight or investigation. Both of those things would be acceptable.
Okay. I'm gonna use.
Meanwhile,
insight.
this is going to wake up the rest of the party as you all begin to see Inel and your companion Bakran begin to sort of get pretty terse and kind of grabby.
I'll call out to him and be like, guys, what are you doing?
Goodness gracious, midnight.
I don't know. Someone called me. They want the bracelet, but I don't have it, and he's trying to take it. Something for me that I don't have.
I'm gonna roll
They called you.
advantage because of my zodiac.
All right. The zodiac signs come out, and that 20 insight. All right. Now, at this point, Inel, your 20 from your natural 20 from your sleight of hand, the luck there has kind of run out. So I'm going to. You're either going to need to make a deception check to beat that, or you're going to need to begin like fleeing actively in order to, start for fear that your plan should be exposed.
I say, all right. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm open the door. We'll go outside, and when I open the door, I cast web under them.
Okay, got it. Inel is casting web. That is, I believe, strength saving throws. I don't even know if you get a dex at the beginning of it. Yeah, each creature that starts its turn in the web or that enters them on its turn, dexterity saving throw. So yeah, everybody give me dex, and then it's strength after that if you fail it to get out. So 5.
Finally, something I have advantage on.
All right, see if you can successfully go for it, Yane. As well as Gale. All right, Yane, you're successful.
Only Yane.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. So Yane, you are successful. Gale misses it by just a couple of points. You're gonna find yourself stuck fast in webbing as Yane jumps into the air and quickly grabs a hold of one of the low-hanging light fixtures to then drop down to the ground again. Foot basically missing the magical webbing by inches. That is going to slow a lot of your companions, as it seems like Inel is going rogue.
I say, sorry, I have to do it, and I just run.
All right. Yeah, Yane, you're in the best position to respond. Of course, your companions can all make strength checks to try and get free, but Yane, you're the one who can pursue immediately.
I'm a bucket. I'm a beeline for this boy.
All right, Yane, with the fact that barbarians have more movement speed than our wizard, it means that in a couple of turns, unless our friend Inel is going to try and continue to use magic to delay you or something else, you are going to catch up.
I have nothing. I only have cantrips left, and none of them are. I don't want to kill them. They just don't understand. I have to do it, so I can't really attack them. So I have nothing.
I thought you said you used your arcane recovery.
Yeah, pick one level 2 spell.
Oh, right. Oh, I guess,
Web.
huh? So, that means that as you book it out into the hallway, you can either try and go out the window, or you can go down the stairs and into the common area and try and flee out like through somewhere in the ground floor. What would you prefer?
Since I know that the window is too high for my little arms to grab on, I'm just gonna go by the stairs. Is a logical solution.
Okay. Going by the stairs. At this point, both of you give me athletics checks in order to see who's capable of sort of sprinting faster or longer. Obviously, the barbarian will catch up with you over time, but you never know if a nat 20 or a nat 1 might allow our... Okay. Oh, I don't think so. I think NL's getting caught up too.
Can I try to get out of the web with a strength saving throw?
Yep, absolutely. Go ahead and give me that check. I saw Karini made the 8, and that's not going to be enough, unfortunately. That is going to be enough, so you'll take off, 6-7 seconds after Yane, after you've managed to tear yourself free. Gale, you're also welcome to try the strength check to free yourself, as then our barbarian is going to easily be able to basically just take the flying leap off of the top step as Inel is kind of getting to the bottom of it and just catch up to the wizard. I don't want to put words in your mouth. You're welcome to grapple him. You're welcome to just try and talk him out of it. Whatever you want to do.
I'm a grapple.
All right, so then opposed athletics checks. Inel, you can use acrobatics or athletics to try and get out. I believe
It's the same. It's the same anyway. So no,
Yeah.
aquatic is better. So aquatic.
All right.
Can I use athletics to jump out the window to try and head him off before he gets to the lake?
I'm sorry, Gale. It's
You
not enough
absolutely
for
can.
my.
Go ahead and give me athletics. Yeah, Gale, that strength is not going to be enough, so you're going to be bound for a little bit longer. Obviously, you're not in combat, so it's not really a big deal. That athletics is going to see you able to quickly dive out the window, opening it in a fluid motion so you don't even accidentally bust the pane out of the glass, and rolling down onto the grass that's about 15 feet below. You'll be able to swiftly start circling around to the area between the mage and the lake, looking around, making sure that the wizard did not, in fact, get ahead of you. Meanwhile, in that opposed athletics, our barbarian is easily more than double going to be able to seize a hold of the fleeing wizard, finally arresting his flight from the mumbling mage. Barbarian Yane, you've got a hold of your wizard who was fleeing. What are you going to do now?
I'm gonna try to smack him out of it. I'm gonna like.
Let's do it. Yeah,
All right.
Can I do a perception to try and see or listen for where the wizard might be?
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
So
I would like to try and break free of the web, or if he manages to smack him and drop his concentration on the web, I'd like to also meet them outside.
So that smacking is going to, unless you want it to deal damage specifically as attacks, I'm just going to treat it as so much of just kind of style. But the act of grabbing the wizard and shaking him, you're going to see is gonna have kind of a slow effect of dissipating this wizard's kind of trance, if you will. And Inel, eventually the urge to bring this necklace to the edge of the lake is going to start dissipating as you're in the throes there. Going back to the companions in the room, given the time, you're going to be able to start wrenching yourselves free of the web, and Inel's concentration on it will inevitably at some point in this drop while the barbarian is shaking them free. Inel, you're going to regain your senses, and as you do, you're distantly aware of the fact that you needed to bring this thing to the lake, but you can't remember why. What was it that was something was compelling you, but it'll feel almost in the passing as like a flight of fancy. You wouldn't even be able to really communicate to somebody that no, I heard a voice in my brain and it told me to do this thing. It would almost be like an instinct.
So I want to run outside and meet up with them and just kind of be what's going on, everyone?
I needed to go to the edge of the lake to drop this necklace. I don't know why. It was just instinct.
The edge
I
of
guess-
the lake? I say
Yeah.
questioningly.
I don't really. Maybe the book of. Maybe we could ask the barkeeper. Where's everyone? All right. I kind of messed up the room, didn't I?
Yeah, you threw me in a web.
I
Have I been able to finish my long rest?
Unfortunately, you've all been interrupted in the middle of the night, so this is you've only been sleeping for about 4 or 5 hours.
Warlocks
Then I'm
your spells
still
on a
I'm
short
still
rest, though.
I'm gonna step about 15 feet from the edge of the lake, and I want to use Divine Sense.
Did I hear them, or am I able to find their group? As I look?
You are going to, with that 7 perception, not hear them. They are all still in the Mumbling Mage, having managed to grab a hold of the wizard before he made it outside. You're just going to be kind of like standing out here in the fog and the mist. Like you can hear the shore of the lake, lapping some 30, 40 feet away. And for the most part, you kind of are just a crazy person in your pajamas, like looking around with your arms out, ready to karate chop something. But
I'm gonna hide and try and wait for them.
All right, guys, give me
all
a
right,
10 minutes.
go ahead and give me a stealth check. All right, you are going to find apparently what is an inappropriately sized bush and attempt to conceal yourself behind it. From there, we go back to the interior.
Give me 10 minutes, guys. I'm gonna ritual cast Identify on the necklace.
Okay.
Protect me. If I go wrong, smack me in the face. If someone wants to steal it, smite them. I don't know. Just punch anything. If it's something wrong.
Hold him down.
Yane's hands are still like just grasping his whole body, just like, yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna identify it. And can I talk? I have to concentrate to do that, right?
Yeah.
One of you talk to the barkeeper about the edge of the lake in general and the lore and whatever.
Yeah, I wanted to go outside and get about 15 feet from the lake and use Divine Sense to see if I can feel anything come in the area.
Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should stay together for now. I don't want to.
Dead.
Whatever is in that lake and whatever properties that necklace might have, other than apparently just the extreme value of the sapphire and the weight of the silver chain, are all excellent questions and the beginning, assuredly, of a mystery of some kind. But we find ourselves now at the 4-hour mark, so I am going to wind us down for the evening before we get into further shenanigans, and it becomes even more difficult for us to put this to bed. So thank you, everyone who is out there watching us right now in the Twitch chat. Thank you to our contestants. I have still yet a precious stone to give away, so don't anybody go anywhere. We have had only 5 contestants on this evening, and most of them came close to death, with the exception of Inel. I have a question for the Twitch stream. Who do you think most deserves a precious stone this evening? We have our Paladin, Karini, our Barbarian Yane, our Wizard Inel, our Warlock Gale Warcrier, and, of course, our Fighter Bakrun. We've got 1 vote for Karini. We got a vote for Gale. We got a vote for Bakrun. It looks like so far it's 1 for 1, 2 for Gale. Given the events of the evening, the one that saved the Paladin, I believe, was...
It's Bakrun, I believe.
Yeah, it was Bakrun, I believe. So that's 2 votes for Bakrun, that's 2 votes for Gale, that's 2 votes for Karini. All right, everybody, I think that the only fair thing to do, Gale, Karini, Bakrun, go ahead. Each of you roll me a d20. We're going to see who gets to choose a precious stone. All right, that's a 13. That's a 16.
Feels bad, man.
And that's a 10. All right, all of them above 10 though. Not bad rolls. Could have used those earlier in combat. I'm not gonna lie. But
Right?
Karini, that is going to make you the winner. You can choose between the rhodochrosite, the rhodochrosite and the lapis lazuli. Which would you prefer?
They're both really pretty. I think I'm gonna go with the lapis though.
Okay, lapis it is. And I will make sure to get that one in the mail as soon as possible. As well, a heads up to those of you out there who may have won stones and are waiting on them. I have, at this point, I know I have tracking numbers for everything. I had to remail a couple of packages from earlier on in the month that ended up like sitting down at my local post office with a bunch of, like, it's just been a nightmare. But everything has been sorted out. Everything is in the mail. Everyone should have everything within a couple of days, as well as I will get this lapis lazuli to you, Karini, and a new stone in the prize pool for Tuesday. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. It seemed that we went straight back into combat, but at least our players did not have to mess around when it came to getting some of that hard-earned wealth back in their pockets. And what with a magical greatsword in their possession, things might be going their way finally for the time being. But what will they discover in the lake out behind the mumbling mage? For those of you who may remember some of the early sessions, this is not the first time an individual has heard a voice calling to them in the middle of the night while staying here in this inn. Whatever it is seems to be hungering for tribute of some kind, and it will likely get worse before it gets better for our companions. So you'll have to tune in on Tuesday to see what happens, and who lives, and who dies, and who comes in on the rotating seat, and if any of our normal contestants can't make it, who will be sliding over into a new seat as we do new draws almost every day, and of course, hopefully over the course of the evening while our players expire. I don't have too much else to say other than thank you again to Kronos Games and Gifts for our first official sponsorship. Thank you to Heads Up Guys for being a charity that is providing much needed support for people out there in these trying times. I cannot say enough that if you are struggling with depression or feelings of isolation out there in the world, that you do not have to go through anything alone and that there are resources available. Please do not hesitate to let somebody know that you are feeling a certain way. There are tons of resources available online to try and help either fix the situation that you find yourself in, or just supply you as a human being with the much needed contact and reassurance of the networks of other humans out there who are ready to help you with the things that you might have problems with. Other than that, thank you to the artists, thank you to the contestants, thank you to the patrons, thank you to the fans, and it's been another great evening of So You Think You Can Quest, as the main prize so far goes unclaimed, and I'll have to check the metrics, but it's likely to go up maybe another $4-5, and we will see it rise in value continuously as this contest progresses. And here we reach the end of our tale. For now, join us again next time on the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest.
Every day I'm hustling. Just one possession, chance brings every trap that's it. Oh, dungeon masters hate when I sit down to play, 'cause player, hate the game. Don't hate the player.